Hello, everyone. Welcome to Undertow, a shift miniseries set in Maelstrom, created by Hit Point Press. Welcome. This is our finale of our 3-shot adventure. Thank you so much for making it out to here and watching this far. We have had a little bit of a break, so I would love to reintroduce everyone at the table. Please tell me a bit about who you are, where we can find you, and how have you been? How was your Undertow break? And we'll start off with Rue.
Hello, everyone. I'm Rue. My pronouns are she, her, and I play Ahi, whose pronouns are they, them. This break, I've been pretty good. I went to New York, so that was my big exciting thing as we were on break. And then a few weeks later, I promptly got sick, so highs and lows. Luckily, it was just a cold. I'm back to normal.
I'm glad that you're feeling better. Could you tell us a little bit about your character?
Yeah, so Ahi is the beacon, and they are a teenager who is just kind of gotten onto this path. It's been a couple of years, and this is their first time going out into the world to do their work as the beacon. They've kind of just been staying on their little island and mostly just in their town. Their town was very protective once they realized that they were a beacon. So this is their first time venturing out, and they are a little reluctant in this role. They're not super excited about all of a sudden having to take on all these responsibilities and destinies that they didn't exactly ask for, but they're slowly coming into their own.
Thank you very much. We'll hop on over to Jasmine.
Hello, I am Jasmine, and my pronouns are she, her. I am playing Ash, also she, her. Ash is the Gale. During my break, I had a bit of a family reunion on my dad's side of the family. He's one of 7 brothers, and all 7 were in the same place at the same time, which is very rare because one of them lives in Australia. So he was here, and yeah, it was really cool. It was nice to see everyone again. And yeah, more about Ash. She's a storm chaser. She is sort of like, the people that you see like who chase tornadoes. She chases, weather patterns out in the ocean and risks her life to figure out more about them.
Excellent. Thank you very much. We'll hop on over to Chris.
Hello, everybody. My name is Chris Tung. I'm mostly known as one of the co-founders of Pinksy.ca, also the producer, GM, and editor for Super Dudes, which is a comedy tabletop RPG podcast. And my break has been a whirlwind. Gosh, so much has happened. I turned a whole year older. I went to like 2-3 cons. I just got back from LA a couple of days ago. I'm all over the place, but I'm here now. And I am playing Gizbar, who is the rudder in this system. He is your resident water Uber driver. He helps ferry people across the treacherous waters on his boat called the Compass. And he is a tatted up dude, very old dude, who has magical tattoos that apparently, when he uses the powers of them, they potentially age him, we found out. Who knows? More to be discovered in like 10 minutes.
Curious. Yes. Much mystery. Yes.
I've been sitting on that cliffhanger for weeks.
Ooh, yeah, I think it's been like a month. Yes. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. We'll pop on over to Lexi.
Hello, my name is Lexi, although online mostly I'm known as PT Eddie. I am mostly a variety streamer here on Twitch, but I'm getting back into YouTube. Maybe who has time these days? On the break, I've been going to like museums and gardens a lot, which is really cool. There's a garden near me that has like a glass exhibit in the botanical gardens, and so got the chance to go see that, and it was really cool. I am playing Jack Torrens, who is a siren, which is essentially someone in this world that like are able to tune in with people around them and kind of figure out more about people. And Jax is essentially like a story collector, and so goes around the world making sure that people's stories are not forgotten.
I love that so much. Thank you, thank you. Over my break, so I actually intentionally took all of last month off and did like the bare minimum amount of work. So all I did was binge watch Too Hot to Handle. It is a very trashy show of very little substance and a lot of hot people. That's all I did last month. It was great. I just feel mentally restored after doing that. But enough about that. We will go ahead and jump right in. Just as a reminder, Shift is a pick up and play RPG by Hit Point Press that offers diverse options for GMs and players. It has a minimal rule set containing everything that a GM needs to facilitate an exciting character-driven narrative and story. We use a variety of dice, D4, D6, D8, D10, and D12, and our various stats and traits get shifted up or down depending on how the narrative unfolds. We are using Maelstrom, which is a setting that was created by Hit Point Press also, and you can find everything that we are touching on today to be available in the Shift Quick Start, which is available for free. So if you like what you see and you want to play it, you can definitely check it out. For a little bit of tone setting, Maelstrom is a game of eldritch horror, the supernatural, a little bit of science fiction, and Atlantic coastal life. A cataclysmic event has left much of the world lost underwater, and people are forced to live in a world of harsh, rocky landscapes. And there is a corruption of supernatural force called the Deep. It is evil and otherworldly, lurking deep in the ocean for as long as anyone can remember. It corrupts the land and its inhabitants, and it drags both down into watery depths. We don't really know much about the Deep, other than we know that it's connected to the Maelstrom, which is an enormous, ravenous storm that consumed the sun, quite literally, and changed the world, casting it in an internal darkness. We open up our story today with a recap. Does anybody want to volunteer? You will get 1 experience point. No, it's okay. It's been a long time. All right, that's totally fine. So we opened up last session at Stronghold. We were invited over there. We gave a temporary solution to the lighthouse, which had gone out for some reason. We discovered that the beacon of Stronghold is missing and has been missing for some time. The lighthouse and the magic that enchanted it went out, and it was very dangerous. It cost some people perhaps their lives. People would not be able to find Stronghold off of its rocky and dangerous shores. But with it restored, we have set out to find out what happened to the Glory, the ship that was carrying Sarah, the beacon. We began to make our way over to Hermit Hold, where we met Guillermo, a very interesting individual who was not social and did not have a very good time communicating with the group. But we were able to crack through, and we were given 2 gifts. The first one was an instrument that will perhaps help the lighthouse with a longer-term solution. And the second was much smaller and much more curious. You opened it up to reveal that it was part of a crown, exactly 1/3 of a crown. And it didn't look very much different from the tattoo on Gizbar's chest. When we looked at it, we noticed that there was some strange interaction with the light. The lights of the boat, the compass owned by Gizbar, had dimmed quite a bit. And they almost seem a little distorted here in the presence of this broken crown. Ahi, at the end of our last episode, you had decided to use some of your magic to help your friends. Can you tell me what you do and what this looks like?
Yeah, so at the end of the last episode, I'd used my technique, which is lengthen the wick. Just as a refresher, it's the mechanics of it is once per session while in the glow of my lantern, allow each of my allies to shift up any 2 trait dice, and I must shift my soul die down to use this ability. So for Ahi, I think the way this occurs, I think instead of it being something internal, which has kind of been the way a lot of their other abilities have happened, like they themselves glow, I think as they're doing this, like they kind of, it starts happening almost unconsciously, like they're just sort of looking around the boat or heading to the boat. I don't remember if we actually got right up to it, but just kind of heading in that direction. And as she passes everyone by, or as they pass everyone by, it sort of just brings a warmth to them, and brings kind of a light to them that is interpreted differently. And I think that'll kind of connect at which traits they move up or shift down. And you can also see Ahi kind of getting visibly kind of a little more tired looking, a little more like, just like the day is kind of burdening them. So they look like a little more slouched. They look like they're kind of carrying a heavy burden, and it's as if the light is removing for them and going to everyone else. So as their like soul is kind of going down, everyone else's goes up a little bit. And I think it kind of, happens like subconsciously. So it's sort of like their powers are reaching out and like noticing that this balance needs to be restored. So that's why it happens without their knowledge, I guess, at least their like conscious knowledge.
Yeah. And just for a mechanical perspective, since we used that last time, you can definitely use your technique again this session if you like. A technique is essentially one unique ability that each one of the characters will have. With the playbooks that we've created, each one has a different technique, and you can use it once per session. That is the caveat. So they tend to be these extremes or these really cool interactions that you can have with others. So as Ahi is going past and perhaps subconsciously using this ability to embolden you, strengthen you, how is everyone responding and feeling in this moment? We'll say that we're preparing to get onto the boat at this point.
Ash, I think, has been, fighting with Guillermo, and a little, talking to people is not really her thing, and is a little exhausted from it. And I think this is kind of gives her a little bit of energy back, kind of, as an introvert, a little bit more stamina.
Can we say that just like as a fun thing, since we all did like level up and get like a new ability, maybe the light has helped us like gain a little something, a little spry in our step?
Yeah, absolutely. You can flavor this however you like.
Oh, I want to go last.
You want to go last? Okay.
I wanna go last. Yeah.
So I think
Jax.
Similar to Ash, Jax, like the previous day's sailing, and a lot of the magic that she had tried to do wasn't necessarily successful, and so was starting to feel like a little bit discouraged or like lost in just herself and the stories that she has collected. And I think as the like warmth of Ahi's light passes by and just kind of like soaks in a little bit, she feels a little bit more encouraged and like feels a little bit better about what may come after this.
For Gizbar, on the other hand, as the warmth of Ahi's light kind of shines upon Gizbar, you kind of see the white hairs upon his beard like start to darken to like a gray. You see like the wrinkles on his skin kind of fill out a little bit, and also his skin itself, like the patchiness, kind of clears up a little bit. As you see Gizbar get a little bit younger as the light begins to shine upon his body, and he's just like, "Oh, Ahi, I'm not sure what your light is doing, but it's doing something to my body. Am I? Wait, Jax, how do I look?
Are you? Your hair's less gray. Has
is that
this
so?
happened before?
No, I look over to Ahi and I'm just like, Ahi, has your light ever restored someone's youth?
I think I kind of shakes their head because they were like a little bit in their head spacing out a little, so they're like, what? Does my light do what? Make people younger?
Make people younger? I feel great. I feel like more of a people person now. I've added the trait people person to my character sheet. Just because I interact with so many people throughout my rowboat journeys with the keywords charm and history. Oh, I feel like I could talk to anybody. The awkwardness that you get in old age, it just it seems to the rest it's fallen off.
Just for anybody who's watching, since this is a limited mini-series, we've decided to give everyone some character points in between sessions, so that's what that is. We are enabling
That's what that is.
Yeah, some new keywords to be purchased, new abilities, whatever the players want. Yeah. So excellent. The group of you begin to climb into the boat, and as you begin to set off, you immediately see that the storm that surrounds the middle of the Moon Isles here, called the Shred, it is almost minuscule in comparison to the gargantuan Maelstrom, which is far off to the west to where you live here. But it is still something to behold. You see the storm rippling in the distance far from you. There are whipping winds that cut at skin, that billow at your sails. You see flashes of almost like fire in the sky, lightning that's green and purple and red, all extremely violent and bright and dangerous. Just looming on the horizon. Gizbar, you have a choice to make here at the helm of your ship. You have to decide, do you rush through the Shred? Do you make your way back to Stronghold? Is there another place you want to go? The group of you are gathered around Gizbar, and one of you has the piece of the crown. You're not quite sure what it is, but you were told by Guillermo that there are two other people that have pieces of this crown. Someone by the name of Boone, a treasure seeker, who was supposed to not have it. It was originally supposed to go to Eleanor, the shipwright that lives in Pride Point. But Boone didn't trust Eleanor, saying that they're too young, too eager, and had taken it for himself. And the last piece, as far as anybody knows, it was with Sarah, the missing beacon. What do you do?
Leave it up to diplomacy. I'm not gonna call all the shots here, but to me it seems like there might be a bit of a rush. Sarah might be in danger, or what? It's already been some time. I feel like going back to Stronghold might take us some time. So, if it's okay with you all, I'd rather push through the Shred. If you'll trust my navigational skills. I mean, I feel great right now. What can I say? I feel like I could take on the world.
I'm willing to give it another attempt.
I'm not one to back down from danger.
I know you're always down, Ash.
Yeah, it seems like it's just going to take longer if we head back to the Stronghold, and it doesn't seem like anybody we really need to talk to is there anyway, so we probably should head out to wherever we need to go. And he kind of like like rubs their head a little bit. They look like they're still a bit tired, but they're like, yeah, let's do it.
Are you doing all right, Aki? I know channeling the light can't be easy for you.
Yeah, I just seemed like I got a little tired just now. I don't know, the light left a little bit, and then there was that weird thing in Guillermo's house that was taking the light. It was like siphoning it away. That kind of, I don't know. It did something weird to me, I think.
I'm curious if that has anything to do with the powers of my tattoos. You know, my tattoos, I feel like I draw my power from a dark place, and perhaps that's why your light is affecting me in some way. And I look towards like Jax and Ahi, who like don't maybe necessarily know. Is like, yes, when sometimes, you know, I use these powers, it ages me. It siphons my life force. It's a heavy price to pay, but it's a testament to how dangerous these waters can be, and how much I have to use what I have to even survive. But I'm actually only 42. I just I might just look old, but I've just fucked up so much with these powers, and I've used them so much. I'm not that old, actually. Yeah, 42. I'm feeling great now, actually, after your light out here. Maybe once you're feeling better, do a little bit more of that.
Dorian create this relationship between us.
Yeah. Get me back to 42.
As Ahi mentions the light distortion, some package, the group of you remember the crown that you have. Who has the crown?
I think I was looking at it, but I don't know, someone else could have been holding it, but before we ended, I did do like a technical nod to see if I could learn anything from it.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. Thank you for reminding me. Okay, we'll say that Gizbar, you have it, and at the mention that Ahi makes of it, you know exactly that is what they're referencing. So let's see here. Okay, you rolled a technical know-how. You got a 1 on the D6 and a 5 on the D8. Okay, the D6 was your...
I believe that was the technical know-how.
Okay,
and then
yep, that's
D8 was
critical
probably
success.
mind? Yes, mind.
Okay, and then the 5 is going to be a failure. So the mind die fails and your technical know-how succeeds. So it's going to be just a regular success here. So you know what this is. You know how it works. It is clearly enchanted. It is a magical item that has been broken into multiple pieces. So you are able to discern that this is probably incredibly powerful, whatever it is. You are only feeling a fraction of it. And it seems to be sucking in all of the light, swallowing it all around you, just pulling at it effortlessly without even being activated. So you get the sense that this might be an artifact of some kind. But because you failed the mind roll here, you don't really know what exactly it's for, where it's from, or what it's going to do once you get all the pieces together.
Do I get the sense that, like, even though it's just like a fraction of it, like the power that it does have is like bad because it's siphoning light?
Here, I will go ahead and show everyone a little handout. You can add this idol to your character sheet as a new focus trait. So as long as you're carrying this, you get the keywords whispering and befuddling, and it has a drawback of breathtaking.
Oh.
Is this the joint that also had the quick coral stuff on it, or was that something else?
Yes. So you definitely see, as like Gizbar's holding it, that it looks like it's part of like some sort of silvery crown, but very evidently there's quick coral wrapped tightly around it, almost as if it's part of the design.
Gizbar, I don't know that you should hold that for very long.
Yeah, I don't like holding it. You know, I just got some youth back, so please, someone take this. I don't want to
Let's
somehow
put it back.
get
We
old
can put
again.
it in the box.
Yeah,
Let's
here,
put it
I
back
check it in the box.
Okay. As you put
Get
it
it
in
away
the
from me.
box, the box kind of like rattles a bit as you slap the lid on, and it just kind of sits there in between all of you. And you hear a loud belly flop as Jet the frog sits next to you, Gizbar, at your feet, and just kind of looks at the box.
No,
No.
don't eat that. No, that's bad. I don't want you to turn you into some kind of demon or something. Just stay far away from that, Jet. You can eat anything else on this boat.
Yeah, the guy, he like lifts it up so that it's kind of
You see
from
Jet's eyes just like follow the box.
It's a challenge.
Does that actually
Yeah.
taste to you? You're wild, Jet.
calling something within him.
Yeah.
You can roll for insight to see if he's subtly vibrating. No.
The magic that has the endless pit in his stomach is the same magic.
I mean, we haven't established if Jet is a creature of the deep or not. I mean,
True.
but no, Jet harmlessly slides away. Yeah. So what do you want to do as a group? It seems that you want to head towards the shred. Is that what you want to do?
We're the shred.
All right. The group of you take a collective deep breath as Gizbar begins to maneuver the boat in the direction of the shred. As you begin to head northeast towards the storm, you feel in increments the various elements of the storm beginning to wash over you. First, the rain, it pelts against your face and it slickens every surface of the compass itself, giving this sort of glossy sheen. And every time there's a crack of color, a crack of fire or lightning, it displays a brilliant spread of color over your entire boat, over your faces, over your eyes. And it's the sort of booming that shakes your bones. It feels very close, too close for comfort. And you can feel this sort of latent chill crawl up your feet, your legs, your arms. It's raising the hair on the back of your neck. It is engulfing. It's all around you. Within moments, it's really hard to tell what direction you came from. You look back and you don't see Hermit Hold anymore. You just see the storm. I will need a series of rolls here for you to make your way through the storm. We'll say that the waters begin to grow extremely choppy and they begin to buffet against the hull. You can hear the compass creaking and groaning in complaint, and you're rocking back and forth. Water is washing onto the boat, which is quite normal, but it is precarious. What are you doing to secure yourselves? What are you doing to help the ship?
So the ability, if you'll let me have it, the trait that I wanted to add was cut through, which the two keywords are listen and echo, the drawback being like overwhelmed. So the idea is that I've been in storms so much that I can kind of like concentrate and like sift out any noise that isn't like the rain or the wind, and to try to figure out like, direction, or if I hear anything. Is that something that I could do?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. So go ahead and roll me. This sounds like you could either use mind or soul here.
Okay.
If you want to approach this logically, technically, or if you want to approach it through intuition or reaching something deep inside of you.
I think I will do mind. And the new traits are D8s, right?
They will be D6s.
Oh, D6s. Okay, so this one will be the mind roll.
Okay.
2. And then my ability roll is, a 6.
Okay. So that is going to be, you can definitely get an idea of how to do this, but it's just a little too strong here. We'll say that you have a partial success here. What does it look like, and how do you not get the results that you wanted exactly?
I think Ash just sort of centers herself and calms herself and tries to kind of get complete silence in her head to listen out into the world. And she's so used to the sound of the storm and the wind that she's able to kind of pull that away and silence that as well. And she tries to see if she can hear anything else. And I think in terms of like the failure of it is she's able to maybe calm herself, but the storm maybe is too heavy or doesn't. She's unable to like really get a pinpoint on anything.
Yeah, absolutely. And just as a reminder, you don't automatically start off with a drawback. Drawbacks are essentially these temporary negative keywords essentially that I can give you in lieu of shifting your stuff down. So like just a little transparency of like what it's like behind the GM screen. I have the ability of like, instead of saying like you take damage to your mind or your soul or your ability, shifting it down where it's a little harder for you to reach that success, instead I can say there's a drawback, right? Which is kind of like a temporary label to put on top of it. So for example, like if you failed here extremely terribly, then I could say your drawback is active, but it doesn't automatically start off with the drawback. But yeah, good to like come up with ideas for the drawback, because I'm really hard. It's really hard for me to think of those things on the fly. So thank you. But yeah, I think exactly as you described, you find your center, but it's just too much. You can hear like water bubbling. You can hear what sounds like rocks being thrown against the side of the hull. It's a bit distracting, but you feel a sense of confidence in yourself in this moment. Gizbar, I will need some form of navigation or piloting this ship. What do you want to do?
Actually, I was gonna ask if I could look to Jax and Ahi for assistance, and if they can like help me in some way, if that can like give me a boost on my navigation roll.
Yeah.
Can I do that?
Yes, absolutely. In what way do you want them to help you?
If you could provide us some light to navigate through this, that would help. Jax, not sure if you've got any supportive words you could throw our way that could, or anything. We could really use all the help we can get.
Yeah, I have, I don't remember exactly how helping works, but I have Core of the Sun, which has the keyword infuse. So I was thinking if we're looking for light, maybe like infusing the front of the boat with like the heat and the light of the sun.
Yeah, absolutely. So there are two ways we can go about this. We can either use the working together technique or mechanic, or you can just do your own separate roll and use your Core of the Sun. The way that working together works in Shift is really simple. Instead of using a core trait, which is the mind, soul, body, what you would do is you'd pick one of your focus traits and then you'd roll that, and then Gizbar would roll that too. So basically you're kind of splitting up the responsibility of the rolls there to try to get a success that way. So
Kind of like that.
You want to do that? Okay.
Yeah. I mean,
so-
we've never used it before. It's just like, hey, shift, everybody.
Yeah. Woo, okay. So go ahead and roll the die for your Core of the Sun and Gizbar, whatever.
The old Wayfinder.
Yeah, let's do it.
You go
I
first.
got a-
I'm scared.
Got a 1.
That's a great
Hey.
success.
Oh my god, I also got a 1.
Okay, that is a
Heck
absolute
yeah.
critical success. So when that happens, you get a critical success bonus. That means that something absolutely amazing will happen here. Okay, go ahead and flavor this however you like. We'll start with Ahi as you're using your ability here. Y'all knock it out of the park here, and you are absolutely masters of the moment.
Cool. Yeah, Ahi goes up to the front of the boat, and I think what happens, if this were like a TV show, is we get a little flashback of when Gizbar and Ahi had talked at Stronghold, and like the kind of inspiring speech that Gizbar gave to Ahi about like being a hero, and you know, this is what your purpose is, and we kind of see like a little bit of that. And Ahi kind of just, I think there's just like a really strong connection that like fits in between Gizbar and Ahi. Like it's almost like like we don't have to talk to each other. We're just like moving and like working in rhythm and time to each other. So like they just kind of go forward, and like every time Gizbar moves, Ahi moves out of the way and gets to like a different part of the boat that needs lighting. Like lights up a spot that Gizbar needs to see, like into the ocean, and we see like a little bit of the ocean's, like, you know, like little creatures and things, so that we know to divert or to move to the side.
Excellent. And how about you, Gizbar?
So this is kind of cool. So I'll say that, like you said, you put your light kind of at the front of the boat. Gizbar's kind of putting his all into like rowing and getting through like the crazy currents. But because my skilled wayfinder, one of the keywords is darkness, I had always imagined his powers kind of come from darkness in that way. So you see, like, kind of as Gizbar heads to the front of the boat, he kind of absorbs some of like the light that he has put there. And then his tattoos begin to glow as he kind of channels the powers. You see, like, shadows begin to kind of surround the boat in like a circular way, and also like the pointed boat itself. It almost looks like a compass. It's like a circular shadow, and then like the boat is kind of like the pointer thing. As like the shadows kind of carry the boat through the storm in that way. I think that'd be really cool.
Oh, I love it. With great gusto and confidence, the compass begins to roar through the shred. Jax, as you see your companions trying to help bolster this quick journey through, is there anything in particular that you want to do here?
I think that Jax is spending part of the time just like keeping watch, because a lot of what we've experienced recently is that this storm has been abnormal, even for the shred. And so it's kind of like keeping watch and just like maybe remembering part of the conversations that she had with Guillermo right before they left his island. And if possible, I'd like to use the trait Weave a Tail, which has the keyword of surround, to do like almost like a shield type thing around the compass to see if that will assist with making our way through the storm that has been relatively not great recently.
I love that. Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so that's, I think, can I use soul for this?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. That's a 2 for Weave a Tail.
Okay, that's a success.
And a 5 for soul.
Okay, that will be a failure. So with Weave the Tail, I think what happens here is as you are casting your spell here, it does go off, but there's also something that you feel. You don't necessarily see it, but there is a sense of creeping dread that is beginning to pool inside of you. And it's pulling your attention in the direction of the eye of the storm. So please describe to me before I continue what your spell looks like here as you're trying to help bolster us.
Yeah, again, Jax's magic looks a little bit different in that because she doesn't see in pictures, a lot of her magic is represented by the words that make up things. And so as this like kind of, I imagine almost like a bubble surrounds the ship, you just see like different words that are either like shield or protect or surround. Just like if you look into the storm around the boat, you would see those just kind of like hovering in the air. It's like little blips in the storm.
Yeah. Jax, you notice as you have this sinking gut feeling that some of the words that are surrounding the ship are being pulled away from the ship. Almost like the way that the light was being distorted by the crown, they're being pulled towards the eye of the storm. And when you look over for a split second, there is a massive streak of light as lightning cracks behind something. And what you see is the silhouette of some kind of tower at the center of the shred. It's really hard to get the finer details of it because you only see the shape of it, but it almost looks like something twisted and some around something jagged. And it is imperfect, it's asymmetrical, and there's something in your gut that tells you that that should not be there. But then the darkness and the mist whooshes over, and just as quickly as you have seen it, it's gone.
Yeah, I think upon seeing that, she'll like move over towards Ash and be like, Ash, there's a problem in the center of the shred.
Uh, well, do we don't know where the center of the shred is, right? Because we got kind of lost, right?
At first, you definitely got lost, but with Ahi's combined effort of the core of the sun and Gizbar's just supernatural navigation skills, Gizbar has a really good idea of where you are.
Can I do deep in the mind to sort of hmm. Actually, can I try cut through again?
Yeah,
can I try
absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, great. I will do that.
Cut through this shit.
So this will be for cut through. Nope, 5, and this will be for mind. Oh, which is 1.
Okay. All right. So it's another mitigated success here. What is your intention here? Jax has just told you some troubling news.
I'm trying to determine whether or not I can hear anything and whether or not I've encountered whatever is in the center of the storm before.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. So as you try to hone in on the direction that Jax is pointing out something unusual is happening, you end up seeing the exact same thing that Jax does, but you've never seen anything like it before. You've never heard about anything like it before. I'll even add a little extra. It kind of looks like a lighthouse.
Yeah,
Did you see it?
Is that a creature or is that a building?
I've never seen it before. It's like pulling pieces of my magic towards it.
Maybe it's some sort of like beacon that like a lighthouse that calls things to it.
What should we do?
Well, my instinct is to check it out, but I'm not gonna make that decision for everyone else.
What are you guys talking about back there?
Did you say you saw a creature?
A
He's
what?
like running back and forth.
I
lighting things up.
I love that when Ahi says, "Did you say you saw a creature?" Nobody sees this. But on the back of your boat, Gizbar, a single tentacle reaches up and begins to pull up onto your ship. Continue.
What do you mean continue?
Gaspard, do you know anything about a tower in the center of the shred?
Can
A
I like do
lighthouse?
like a roll for knowing this and use like my new trait people person? My idea of people person is that I've interacted with so many people, I've ferried so many people that I've spoken to a lot of people, and one of my keywords is history. So maybe I've heard tale of such a thing, or someone has mentioned it in their travels or rumors. Can I do that?
Yes. Go ahead.
Okay, that's a D6, and then I'll use mind to try to recall, which is D8.
Okay.
Right, D6 is a 2.
That's a success.
D8 is a 7.
Okay, that's a failure. All right. You remember... Okay. You don't remember a lot of it, really, truly. It's just like kind of like on the tip of your tongue. Just you remember someone mentioning something about a weird interaction between beacons and lighthouses. That's it.
That's it. Hey, Ahi, it looks like it's a lighthouse. You said let's go check it out. That's your thing, right? Lighthouses. Let's go. I start moving the boat towards it.
Okay, as you begin to shift the course towards the eye of the storm, Ahi, you're running around back and forth, right? You hear
Yeah,
a
trying to light things up.
as you see a tentacle creature pull itself up off of the back of the ship and is now staring at you. It almost looks something between like a hairless hound, but its face is completely wrong. Instead of features of eyes, a snout, a mouth, you just see this wriggling mass of tentacles. There is this strange fluid that slicks off of it, and you can hear it slop, slop, slop onto the boat. Just this thick, viscous, ink-like fluid just dripping from this massive writhing tentacles. And it is the bulk of essentially like a Great Dane. It is a sizable creature that could easily stand as tall as you if it wanted. And you see that it's trying to figure out who is here and who, like, what is on. It seems as if it's confused. And we'll say that's about like a foot away from you, Ahi.
Oh, there's a thing back here that I don't think was here before. It has tentacles. It's as big as a really big dog. Y'all.
Like what? An uninvited guest who didn't pay a toll?
Can I use mine to see if I know what this creature is?
Yeah, absolutely.
He's just kind of like trying
Four.
to back up.
4 is a failure. It's
No.
definitely
Get all that XP, Jasmine. Get it all.
weird. It should not be here. You know, aesthetically, it's definitely something from the deep. Like tentacles, barnacles, it looks like a drowned something. No, bad. Throw it back in the ocean.
And-
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
no, go ahead.
No. I just wanted to see, just because it's like looking around, can I use soul to see if it's like about to attack or if it just looks confused?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Oh, that's an 8.
Okay, you have no idea. This thing
What?
is completely alien. It doesn't have eyebrows. How are you going to be able to read its face?
Jasmine, you gotta stop using the Roll20 algorithm. You need real dice. This is
Yeah.
Your rules are out of
Stop
control.
trusting.
You've leveled up like 10 times today.
Yeah,
My physical
every
dice
time
aren't
you
any
fail, like make sure you mark XP.
Okay.
I'd like to use Ahi's new move, Glow of the Hearth, because one of their words is connect. So they're gonna try and connect with this creature just because they're in the front and they're like, oh, I'm the closest to this thing. There's not too many places to run. But I think there's something inside of them that's like, maybe I can get a sense of what it's doing or wants.
Okay. Yeah.
So let me see. I think I'll use mind for that.
Okay.
I think I'm gonna go with try to rationally figure out what this thing wants.
Yeah. Okay. So that'll be a D8 and a D6 for your Glow of the Hearth.
Yeah. Oh god. Okay. The mind was an 8.
Okay. That's bad.
Oh, this storm sucks.
But my Glow of the Hearth was a 2.
Okay, good. All right. Oh, I'm really glad that wasn't a critical failure there. Okay, so that is going to be a mitigated success. You're definitely able to connect with it. Tell me what this looks like when you cast this ability.
Let me think. I think that Ahi approaches the creature and tries to get like a physical connection in the hopes of like using their light to kind of connect to something inside of this creature. So you see like a lot of the light pooling onto their hand as they try. Maybe I don't know if we get to the point where they're touching them, but they're like very, very close and the light is kind of getting into and onto the creature.
I think there's this like really dramatic moment, like you've got this like gray purple storm behind you, right? Like flashes of light and then darkness in between, and this creature is like basically like sniffing out with these tentacles, and as you're approaching, its head snaps towards you. You're kind of reaching forward and you see light rippling from your fingers, right? And this creature's like leaning forward, the tentacles slowly reaching for your hand. And then the tentacles wrap around your hand, and it's this vice grip, and it stings, but you make this connection. At first, you have this wave of alien language, alien thought kind of hit you, like when you dive first into the water without any anticipation. It's jarring, it almost startles you awake in some way. The only thing that you're able to take away from it is that it's hungry. And you're able to tell that it has some kind of a connection to something else. It's almost as if a single thread on a much larger tapestry that you pull on once you make that connection. And you're able to understand somehow that this is not the only one, and that there are a few more coming. And it won't let go of your hand.
Yeah, I think Ahi, when I saw the fail for Ahi, I was like, this is some kind of cosmic horror thing where Ahi's like, the knowledge, it's corrupting my mind.
We just see a bunch of like algebra, like floating around your head.
I don't get it. Yeah, I think Ahi tries to pull back, and when they see that that's not happening, they're gonna just try to yell out what they're getting. It seems like it's hungry. That's all I'm really getting out of this. It was a lot of weird, like a language I don't understand coming from this thing, and there are more coming, is what else I was able to get from it. Also, it is not letting go of me, which I don't like.
How's Jet reacting?
Oh, Jet. Let's roll for it.
Jet's
Jet
like my
is
bro.
Yeah, you see like stomp, stomp. Jet just kind of standing next to Ahi, looking at the creature. That's it.
Jet, I give you permission to eat this.
Ash, you hear water being disturbed near you, and you see a tentacle reaching up over the edge of the ship. Jax, near you, another tentacle. Gizbar, another tentacle.
I think on instinct, Jax like lashes out with magic, and one of the traits that I have is ease the way with snapback as a keyword, which to me is like sometimes easing the way is pushing people out of the way. So she's like actively trying to like push things off of the boat.
Yes, absolutely. Go ahead and roll for me.
So that is a 4 for ease the way. This is probably a mind roll? Body? Let's go with mind.
The 4 will be a failure.
Yep. Yeah, it's a failure. I have 6 on mind.
Okay. Is it out of a D6?
It's out of a D8.
Okay, good. Okay, so it's not a critical failure. It's just a regular failure. Okay. Tell me what this looks like as it botches.
I think initially, like, as they hear Ahi say, hey, there's something here that's not supposed to be, her instinct is like immediately get that thing off the boat, and then looks over midway and sees that like Ahi is low-key attached to this thing now, and it is like a bad thing. And so like in that moment of hesitation, just like it doesn't catch and misses what the target was.
Ash is gonna try to do Storms of Bruin to channel like lightning and try to like just cast it down on the sides of the ship.
Okay,
Zap 'em.
yes.
That's dope.
Okay.
That's
So that is going to be a 3 for Storms of Ruin.
Okay, that's a success.
And I'll do Mind. That's a 3 for Mind.
Okay, they're both, it's a regular success. All right, yeah, so describe to me how you managed to peel the 3 others that were trying to climb on. The one that's attached to Ahi is still on the boat.
Okay, I just like kind of see all these tentacles come up. I like focus in on myself. I reach up into the sky and like cast down some lightning onto the sides of the ship, zapping the tentacles.
Yeah, you see as these brilliant cuts of light come crashing down, you can hear the sounds of the 3 that were about to climb on as they give these cries of pain. It's kind of like a shrill echo, like how you would hear like a throaty sound bouncing off of the walls of a cave. It is very unusual, very strange, almost like echolocation of some kind. And you can see their shapes beginning to slide further down into the water, deterred from trying to investigate what this ship is. But Ahi, the one that's attached to you, you feel the liquid that's kind of dripping off of its tentacly maw. It's stinging. It's beginning to hurt. It's almost acidic.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I'll try one thing just before anyone else does anything. I'm gonna try to use the light within. One of my keywords is surround, to see if I can surround like the creature, since I am attached to it. See if I can kind of use that to get it to retreat a little bit.
Okay.
And I'm not actually sure which of my other traits to go with. I guess I'll go with soul.
Okay. So your light within is a D4 and your soul is currently a D8.
Yeah. Oh wait, I rolled the wrong thing. So soul was a 3.
Success?
And the light within was a 4.
Okay. So it's just going to be a mitigated success there. Okay. So we'll say that the spell fails, but you are able to persevere. There is some kind of effect that is trying. You can tell that this creature is magical, and that it's like inky saliva has magical properties, but you're able to somehow withstand it. Maybe it's the training that you've had. Maybe you're just innately like more fortitude-y. Go ahead and describe to me what happens here as you fail the spell.
Yeah, I think we see like the light kind of going towards that arm again, and then maybe like blinks a little every time some of that inky saliva gets on Ahi. Like it kind of sends like almost like a dulling effect to the light. Like every time it kind of goes down a little bit and then comes back up, but it looks like it's kind of blinking in and out rather than actually doing anything. So it seems like it stays on me, so like the light kind of helps surround and stops me from getting hurt, but it doesn't go to the creature at all. The creature is good and well and not affected by the light.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm gonna let Gizbar have an opportunity to do something here. If you fail, we're gonna have to determine turn order.
Okay, so I'll say like Gizmo was very tuned into trying to like navigate that. Like he's kind of ignored everything around him until he hears like and sees like the crackle of the lightning, and then like, you know, the yelling behind him. He kind of turns like, whoa, what's going on back there? I would imagine Gizmo has at least heard of these creatures from all his travels, probably, and probably knows that they're not nice. So he is going to take a moment to. Oh boy. Okay. It's. Hey, get off my boat! No pay, no stay. And I'm going to use the darkness keyword of my skill Wayfinder, if you'll allow me,
Yeah.
and use it as a weapon of sorts.
Ooh.
Basically, yeah. Again, like Gizbar's magic comes from darkness. So you see like the tattoos on his body start to glow, and the light is casting shadows, and those shadows seem to like move in weird ways and kind of collect into a point as he kind of Yu Yu Hakusho spirit gun as like the shadows from the tattoo glows like kind of pull up to like the point of his finger, and he like shoots like a shadow bullet at the tentacled face of this hound creature thing.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I guess I'll roll body with that because I'm
Yeah, I think that this is a very physical attempt
Yeah.
here. So your body's a D6 and your skilled wayfinder is a D4.
those are pretty good odds.
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay. Well, 5 on the D6 and
That's a
4
fail.
on the D4.
Okay, that is a
Uh,
critical
Yeah.
failure.
I'm like trying to do it like one-handed while like also rowing, and I'm just like trying to just like shoots way into the water.
Okay, so not only does it not occur as intended, but the trait was also pushed down because you pushed too hard. All right, you can choose which die you want to shift down, but essentially you kind of hurt yourself or hinder yourself in some way as you do this, and you fail miserably. I like to imagine that as you hit it, but it swallows the darkness, and it just seems to produce more of this ink.
Hey, you were hungry, right? I don't think that worked. Yeah, I'll shift down my skilled wayfinder.
Okay, so your D4 will
D4
turn
to
into a
D6.
D6.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's not too bad.
Yes, you're fine. You're fine. All right. So with that,
Oh,
we
boy.
are going to determine turn order. The way that encounters work in Shift, they don't necessarily have to be in combat, but this particular one is. The first thing you do is determine an advantage. Basically, like if someone gets the jump on someone else, or if they have something that would put them on the upper foot. In this case, it's kind of like flat. We don't really have advantage on either side. But the way to determine turn order, you will choose a core trait of your choice. You can do mind, body, or soul, and you do a roll for me. If you pass, you go before the adversary. If you fail, you go after the adversary. So tell me what you choose and roll for me. Go ahead.
I choose mind.
Okay.
2.
Okay, so you succeed.
I'm gonna go with body because I feel like Jax is trying to make progress towards Ahi.
Yeah, that makes sense.
2.
Okay, you pass as well.
Yeah, I also do
Good, 'cause
body.
that was the D10.
Okay. Yeah.
My D6 body. Come on. Oh, 2.
Okay, wow, nice.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, and
Two gang.
Ahi.
I'm gonna be doing mind. I think Ahi is just
two.
trying to keep
Ooh.
their cool
Ooh.
while this thing touches it. It was a 6.
Okay, that is a fail.
No.
Hey, that's 3 2s.
It is.
That is 2 + 2 + 2. Quick math. All right. So the turn order essentially is kind of like just globbed together, so you can decide what order you want. So we'll have Ash, Jax, and Gizbar go, then the Ink Hound, and then Ahi after the Ink Hound. So who wants to go first out of the 3? It's pretty
Okay.
clear at this point that the creature is becoming more aggressive, and Ahi, perhaps you even begin to react as the pain begins to grow intense. Go
I
ahead,
think
Ash.
Ahi is like pulling against it and probably making it more aggravated.
Ash is gonna take out her 2 pistols, judge and jury, and try to fire at the creature.
All right, let me put on some combat music. No. All right. Go ahead and roll for me, please.
All right. Oh, that's a 4 for judge and jury, and
That's a
then
fail.
a 2 for mind.
Okay, so that is going to be a partial success here. Okay. So you fail to connect your attack, but you get the sense that this creature, it's pretty athletic. It's got a muscular frame. You can tell that this creature, whatever it is, it will be able to move fast and strike pretty hard. Right now, it doesn't seem to be aggravated to the point where it is going in a frenzy. It could definitely like barrel over Ahi and start chowing down or physically biting and hurting Ahi. Right now, it seems to be more curious than anything. Your shot goes off and it misses. What is going on through your mind? What does this look like? What do your weapons look like?
My weapons are just 2 dual wielding pistols. They are very they're sort of like kitted out to withstand water and not like be affected by it. And I basically turned to the group, hey everyone, like we have to be a little bit more tactical. This thing could just blow up at any point. And that's all.
Okay.
Gizmo, I would like to try to get the thing off of Ahi. Is there anything that you could do that we could work together to attempt that?
I was actually gonna seek guidance from my tattoos, get some insight to see if like this thing has a weakness, and then I would convey it to you.
Okay.
So I'm just like, as I'm already multitasking and rowing, I'm just like, okay, tattoos, don't let me down. What's the deal with this ink hat? How can you get rid of it? I look at my arms and see if it communicates any sort of hint to me, and I'll use the insight keyword of my taste of ink.
Okay.
Trick. And I guess I'll do that with a mind.
Okay. So
roll.
that's a D8 for your mind and a D6 for your taste of ink.
Wow, we've been rolling so bad. Come on. A 5 on the D6 and a 6 on the D8.
Okay. It's just a regular failure.
My tattoos are like. They're
It's too much multitasking.
They're just like they're like moving as if like they're like physical things, as like the current is pushing around. They're like bouncing all over my body.
I like to imagine that yes, that's happening, and something that you're noticing is that all of your tattoos are moving towards the side of your body that's pointing towards the middle of the storm.
I'm gonna be of no use, Jax. It's all up to you.
I'm gonna attempt to use voice of the people with the keyword authority, and like when we rolled for turn order, I mentioned that Jax was like walking towards Ahi, and so like as Jax walks over, she like starts speaking, and I think a lot of it is just like let them go, but their voice like reverberates in the storm, and you hear like different voices echoing that as like her magic remembers people that she has heard say that. So I'm gonna say that's a mind
Yes.
one. Okay.
Absolutely. So your mind is a D8 and your voice is a D4.
The 7 on the D8.
Oh no, that's a fail.
It's a 1 on the D4.
Okay, so that is a mitigated success. All right. What I'm going to say is that you are going to shift their attitude. So your authority takes hold, but it's pretty clear that you've got the creature's attention now.
That's fair.
So what does this look like as it succeeds? Partially.
Yeah. As voice of the people succeeds, I think that the words of let them go kind of echo amidst the thunder of the storm that's crashing around us. And I think that you described the creatures like not having like it's just a tentacle face. It doesn't have like eyes or anything.
Yeah.
Imagine that it listens to listens to letting them go, and so Ahi is like let go, but then like its full attention just kind of like shifts to a moving target as Jax gets closer.
Yeah, absolutely. If you happen to be watching the stream up in the top quarters, what you're fighting. Yes. So Ahi, as it releases you, you can see that your skin is like kind of irritated. It looks as if you've suffered some kind of a burn injury, and it's superficial, but it hurts. It stings. You perhaps instinctively begin to try to like just get that ink off of you because it seems to be trying to eat away at you. And the creature begins to run towards Jax. All right. It is its turn too. So it is going to attempt to Grasping Maw at you. It's going to use its trait, Grasping Maw. It's going to be a D8. Okay, it fails with a 6. So tell me what happens here as it's bounding towards you, and you see the tentacles spread, and you just see like a ring of teeth.
I like to be like Gizbar is watching this in the background and notices like a crashing wave coming in and like pushes the boat in the wave so that I can like go with the boat, and it just like the first attack at least goes farther than it intends it.
Yeah, I was gonna say I turned the boat like in
Yeah.
a way that like it kind of throws off the balance.
You hear the sliding of like it's got like no hair whatsoever, so you hear this like screeching, slitting sound of a flesh skin against the slick board of your ship here, and it bodily thuds against one side, and then the boat corrects. Awesome. Okay, it is now your turn, Ahi.
Oh god. The ink saliva is still on Ahi, or it has like retreated back with the creature?
You've managed to shake it off. You're fine right now.
Cool. Okay, in that case, I think they'll leave personal fixing for later. I think I'm gonna use influence the atmosphere and use silence in an attempt to like stop its ability to do anything, attack or move, kind of using it as like a trap.
Okay.
So let's see how that goes. And I think mind makes sense here. I don't think Ahi would approach it anymore after that.
Yeah. Okay. Your mind is a D8, and your influence the atmosphere is a D6.
Yeah. Okay. 4 on mind.
Okay.
The worst, but not the best.
That is
so
just
close.
a regular failure.
Oh, a 3 on influence the atmosphere.
Okay, that's a success. So this is going to be a mitigated success. What does your silence look like? It's pretty evident that this creature uses some form of echolocation, so this absolutely is a great idea, and it will be confused.
Yeah, I think kind of anywhere in the vicinity of this creature, just sound entirely stops. So if you were to kind of get into that sphere, you would just get this kind of almost sensory deprivation type of just all sound is gone. It doesn't, like if the creature was making a sound, it abruptly stops. And you can't hear it moving around anymore either. Like even when it moves, there's no thudding sound. Like the rain that's in that space is just gone. And there's almost like a gray kind of dark sphere over it as Ahi kind of siphons almost like the light within that space out of it, so that it's just taking everything and dampening it down.
I love it. You can see it's whipping its head around, trying to get a sense of its bearings, and it's very visibly confused. We will go back over to Ash, Jax, and Gizbar. You can do any order of you three, by the way.
I might just... So it's not connected to anyone right now.
Yeah, it's confused, it's isolated.
Okay, I'm gonna Storms of Ruin it.
Yeah.
And try to strike it down. 3.
That's success.
And a 4 for mind.
Okay, that is a failure. That's mitigated success. So this succeeds. we'll say that your spell hits. Your spell hits and Midia says that rolled the highest value was strained and has to shift down. Okay. You will have to shift down one of your die here. It rolled highest. Okay. So you hit, but it's going to take something out of you. Maybe you lose some energy here, or you have to push yourself quite a bit. Describe to me what happens.
So Ash channels down the lightning once again in a very similar fashion, but this time I think it maybe hits a little too close to her now that the creature is moving, and she's just sort of takes in a little bit of that shock.
Yeah.
And a little frazzled.
Okay, excellent. So this is going to shift down. So the way that the creature's stat blocks work is essentially it has a number of different traits, and there's also an additional trait called its attitude, which can be a way to socially interact with it, or whatever its motivations are. And the way to defeat creatures is to shift their dice down enough that they either expire or they run away, right? So I'm going to go ahead and shift down its muscular frame. You see this horrendous burn across the side of its body from this. It hits, it cries out, but you don't hear any of that because it's right through the bubble of silence that he has created. It definitely looks a lot weaker than it did before.
And I have to shift a die down as well.
Yes.
Okay. I'll shift mind.
Okay. Excellent. All right. Gizbar, Jax.
I have something very silly, so you go first.
So you described it that the creature is just pressed up against the side of the boat, correct?
Yes.
I think Jax is gonna make another attempt for ease the way snapback to try to essentially push it over the side of the boat.
I love it. Okay. Yes.
So that's a D6 for ease the way. I feel like this is more magic based for her, so it's probably a soul roll.
Okay.
So that's a 2 for ease the way.
Okay, that's a success.
And a 5 for soul.
Okay.
On a 6.
Okay. So that is going to be a mitigated success. You will have to shift down the ease the way, but it does succeed. Essentially, describe to me what it looks like as you push the creature off the boat.
Yeah, I think the words that you would see if you were looking closely at the magic as Jax casts it are step back. And so that as those words just a couple of them connect with this creature, it just lifts it a little bit, though a wave hits the boat and it just tips it over the side.
Yeah, with a crash, you hear it hit the water, and then the boat is just continuing to careen through the storm. Gizbar, you haven't stopped the ship, so you can see that the silhouette of this creature, it flounders in the water, rolling from the pain, and then it just dips down and disappears completely from sight. You
How
all
did you get your freeloader? Cool. Is the ship still moving towards this mysterious, scary thing?
Are you still headed in that way?
I mean, I was always headed that way.
Yep, then absolutely. You are very confident that directly ahead of you is the eye of the storm.
I think Jax rushes over to Ahi because I think Ahi's the one person that was harmed in the fight. And it's just Ahi, are you good? Do you need anything?
Yeah, I think Ahi is kind of inspecting the arm that was attached to the creature and kind of trying to see if it's something that seems like it's just a surface wound or if it's actually affecting them.
Yeah, you look and it almost looks like a really bad sunburn more than anything. You definitely disconnected in time before it hurt you, but I do believe this might have been the first time you had a real close brush with danger. So perhaps
I think
it might be
Ahi
a
is
little
pretty
scary.
Yeah, I think Ahi is pretty shaken up. I think actually as like Jax approaches, I think Ahi kind of is a little jumpy and maybe gets I don't know if Jax would approach to touch or anything, but I think either way Ahi kind of jumps just hearing your footsteps coming closer.
Yeah, I don't think Jax went to touch or anything, just like came over to just and like check in on you.
Uh yeah. Oh, Jax. Is it gone? Is I think even though he probably saw it get taken out, they're a little like, is there more? Do we need to be ready to like, and is kind of trying to like get into another fighting stance because they're just like a little freaked out now. They're like there were more. I knew there were more coming.
No, I think Ash did some sort of storm magic and cleared the rest of the boat, and that one disappeared into the water. So I think for now at least this is calm. You can relax for a moment.
Okay, all right, that's good. And like for a moment, they're kind of trying to be like, all right, well, that was a close. And then they kind of just like deflate a little and they're like, and kind of approach Jax closely and they're like, that was really scary. That was super scary. It was attached to me. They're
It
like,
was really, really scary. You did a really good job. But maybe next time don't try to pet the things that come on the boat.
it kind of looked like a dog from far away. I like dogs.
That's fair. You did a really good job.
They're like kind of nodding and like not crying, but like the tears are like welling up just a little bit, but they're like keeping it in because they're like, no, I gotta be cool with all these adults. I can't cry. And I think they'll just kind of like stay near Jax, and maybe be a little bit of like a shadow to them for a little while.
Jax will like reach into a pouch and just like hand over some snacks that she has, and we'll just like find one of the benches on the boat to settle in for a little bit.
Yeah, I imagine that this is a really wholesome little moment, the two of you, and then the camera zooms out just enough to see there's a third person on the bench, and it's not a person, it's just Jet, just like watching the snacks being consumed. But as the camera pulls out further, eventually you begin to approach the eye of the storm here, and it becomes clear what is hidden in the darkness. It is literal darkness here. You find that it is only because of Ahi's strong light at the fore of your ship that it illuminates anything, peeling away this thick curtain of darkness, and you see these massive tentacles, perhaps as thick as your boat itself, gargantuan, reaching up, and they swirl around this spire of stone. It looks as if it was once a lighthouse, but it's been crushed, and it is barely holding together, perhaps only held up because of these tentacles. And at the very top, you see this light. It's extremely dim. It is barely peeking out between these crushing tentacles. And Ahi, you can't explain it, but somehow you know that this tower, this light, it is Sarah, the beacon.
I think since Ahi is next to Jax, they'll just continue to relay stuff to them specifically. And they kind of, I think they've been like eating these snacks, and then they kind of just stand up a little abruptly, and kind of just gaze off to the lighthouse in the distance. This is them. This is Sarah. I don't know how to explain how I know, but I just I know it. I know for a fact.
Is she in trouble? Do we need to go?
Ooh.
Looks like
That
trouble
is-
to me. I mean, it's a piece of stone wrapped up in tentacles, which I'm not a fan of after all that. So,
Do we take the crown?
perhaps.
Do you continue barreling forward through the storm towards it? You are some distance away. You can get more information if you get closer.
But we are looking for her as part of what we're doing, so that's some clue as to what happened. I mean, nowhere else to go but in.
Okay.
Do we see the ship?
As you get closer, you can see
Oh yeah, the glory.
the wreckage of the glory at the base
Oh, no.
of this stony structure, and it becomes quite clear that the base of this stone spire, it looks like a lighthouse, but it slowly bleeds up, and it's almost like a sculpture, and you see this femme sculpture holding what appears to be a piece of the crown, and her face is frozen in absolute fear, and the light that you see dimmed seems to be coming from where her heart would be. And I think
It
that's
looks like we found the glory too. Yeah.
and I think that's a good place for us to take a quick break. So please join us in doing a little stretch, grabbing some water, and we will be back in about 5 minutes. Be right back, everybody. So as the group of you are on the compass and close enough now, it's pretty evident that something has happened to Sarah to turn them into a literal stone structure. They are wielding a piece of the crown in their hand, and you can tell from the very gentle, faded pulse of their literal light that they are still alive, and they are suspended here high above. We'll say that it's about like 60 feet up. What do you do?
This crown is bad news. You ask me. Get that box away from me. And away from Mahi, especially.
Yeah, I feel like we all look suspiciously at the box.
And I don't know how we're gonna get all the way up there to fix whatever's going on. I'm a man of the sea, not the skies, and as I said before, I'm afraid of heights. So, does anyone have any ideas?
I'm gonna maybe like grab a stick that might be laying around, like a tool from the boat, and like open the box just to see if the crown has changed in any way.
All right. Yeah. As you do, you can see that the crown has moved from being in the center of the box, and it's kind of pushed towards the edge of the box, towards the direction of the other piece of the crown. The box has moved to the side of the ship. It seems to be physically trying to get as close as it can.
I close the box again. Yeah, that's not good. I wouldn't touch that crown. So, sorry, just to clarify, Sarah is like 60 feet up, right?
Yes.
Like on top of a structure. Okay.
The structure is Sarah.
Oh, so Sarah is 60 feet tall.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like a ruined lighthouse, and it's connected to Sarah. So Sarah doesn't have
Okay.
legs.
Oh, okay, cool.
Okay.
And Sarah is
Right,
completely
beautiful,
made out of
actually.
stone.
Um,
Oh, go ahead.
I mean, if anyone has any ideas, feel free to say. But I was gonna just, if we were stumped as to how to deal with this, seek guidance from my tattoos.
Okay, yeah. Let's get a roll here.
Oh boy! All right. Well, if haven't been too great to me today, but what do you say, tattoos? What do we do here? And I'm just gonna look around my whole body. Hey, someone check my back. Any clues? And then I'm gonna roll taste of ink, and I'll do. I feel like this is soul because I feel like I'm looking both inwards and just like, yeah, just seeking guidance. So that for me is a D10, which isn't great, but my taste of ink though is a D6.
Yep.
So let's try it out. A 6 on the D6 and a 6 on the D10.
Okay, that's a critical failure.
Yep.
No.
Okay, you push yourself too hard.
Yeah.
So your taste of ink will you will kick in your aging drawback again.
And I'm feeling good about this one. All right, tattoo. Oh my goodness. Oh no, that didn't work. Sorry, folks, I tried.
You
Yeah,
notice
you got any more of that light?
you notice that your tattoos are they're beginning to collect like in your hands, towards your chest, and it seems like they're trying to go in the direction of this lighthouse. And now that you're a lot closer, it's pretty clear it's trying to go in the direction of the crown. And the particular piece that Sarah has is the middle of the crown, because you have there's 3 pieces, right? This is the middle piece.
Yeah, I feel like I shouldn't go anywhere near that, or any of us, but I don't know how else we can deal with this. I'm out of ideas. My tattoos aren't saying shit.
Is there a way to like climb up this structure?
You do
Kind of,
see
to get to.
Yeah, like the lighthouse is broken in a way that there are plenty of handholds and footholds. It will definitely be a physically laborious task, but it's doable, even by someone who's not an experienced climber. But it's
Okay.
dangerous. And ever so subtly, you hear like the grinding of stone as the tentacles shift slightly. Very obviously,
No.
it's a living creature crushing this thing.
Not the tentacles. Yeah, I think Ahi is gonna try to climb. I think we gotta get that crown out of their hands, right? That seems like that seems like what might be causing this.
I don't feel great about our light moving closer towards that ground. I mean, look at the last. Look what happened to
Yeah,
the
like,
last
look at
beacon.
that.
Yeah, you don't end up like that.
I think I said that Ahi had gloves or something, so I think they'll put them on. Actually, they'll have them like on their like little tool belt, because I think it'll be easier for them to climb without.
Oh wait, no, wait, 1 second. Let me check. I have something. I have something just for the occasion in my canoe somewhere.
And I dig through my box. I'm gonna use this because I haven't used this any session. I'm gonna use my fucking. I can get that for you.
Yeah, your
Ooh.
technique. Go ahead and read
My
that
technique.
out for us.
Yeah, once per session, you can acquire one relatively complex item, a rifle, a scope, or enough simple items to equip your crew, winter cloaks. Items cannot be magical in nature, and they can't be a specific item, Mona Lisa, etc., etc. Illegal or rare items may leave you owing someone a debt. So, I'm gonna be digging around. Like,
I swear I used this once upon a time and I never used it again. Ah, got it.
I pull out like this like hefty, heavy duty, like pretty well crafted grappling hook.
Yep.
Cool.
This'll help. Just for the occasion. Look, I think it.
And I'll say it's like hefty enough that it can like support a lot of weight. So if we maybe all want to just like grab on.
I mean, I dread the thought of it, but if we all want to get up there, that'll save us some trouble.
Yeah, I'm down to go.
Let's
Is
do
the
it.
boat gonna be fine if we
Batman
all
it.
just leave? Like, is it is there an anchor situation? Is it gonna go away in the storm?
Stella, the DM, looks over at Gizbar.
Don't know till we try.
I feel like it's
Maybe we
a roll.
attach it to something. He's like trying to tie it to a rock or something like that. Is this how it works?
You can put down an anchor if you like. If you do, however, need to leave in a hurry, it's going to be hindered. It definitely seems unwise to leave your ship untethered here in this buffeting storm.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess
Especially
we can.
looks
Yeah, we
over
can.
at
We
the
can.
glory.
Yeah, let's do. Yeah.
Let's drop the anchor, Jet.
Yeah,
Keep
Jet
an
just
eye
like
on this.
kicks the anchor off the boat.
Aw.
Just like a little froggy like salute.
Yeah, unless like this. I mean, I can't imagine it is, but like this grappling hook is like hefty enough to carry the whole boat.
Yeah,
We like tie it to
sure.
the boat.
If
Yeah?
you want, yeah, sure.
Yeah, let's rig it to like the boat, and then yeah, that way we don't have to. I don't have to risk losing my my entire career. Yeah, we can like rig it to the boat so that it brings us all up. Almost like an elevator, like a lift.
Yeah, we can say like the way that it works is it maybe has like a back anchor or something like that on the back of the device. So you mount it onto the mast and you're like holding it and then it'll basically like shoot you up wherever it lands. All right.
Let's do it. I don't know if
Okay.
that's a roll, but
Yes, it's a roll. This is going to be
What?
fantastic.
we can just have it.
No, there's 4 of you.
I can
All
get
at
that for you.
once.
Doesn't mean I get the whole thing.
You absolutely have the item. Let's see how well you use it. Okay. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. So
yeah,
go
I
ahead
can
and
go
make a
around.
roll for me. You could, if you want, use your technical know-how. I think that makes sense.
I was gonna say technical know-how makes sense, but if anyone wants to like team up with it, I'd rather that than use one of my core traits maybe.
Yeah. So we'll do a work together here. So if someone
let's
wants
work
to
together.
use one of your focus traits, which are not your core traits, your mind, body, soul, we'll have someone team up with Gizbar.
So not the mind, body, soul.
Yeah.
Traits. Okay. I can do that and maybe. I guess glow of the hearth kind of makes the most sense with the connect keyword.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. All right, so let me get a D6 from Ahi and then a D6 from Gizbar.
Let's do it.
Don't roll 6s, y'all. That's all I'm
God.
saying.
I mean, we'll see. Hey, I won!
Why you put it out there though, Stella?
How dare you say that?
Just letting you know, don't get it.
All right, my first one was cocked, so I gotta.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Reroll. It's fine. It's fine.
A 4.
Okay, that is going to be a failure. Okay, so that's a success. Okay. With this success... Okay. You use your glow of the hearth. That fails. Tell me why that fails, and then Gizbar, you can describe how you managed to make it work around.
Yeah, I think Ahi is trying to remember some of like the methods that her mom, who is like the rescuer, did to kind of get people in and out of precarious locations, and is kind of trying to use that like memory and connection, but just isn't remembering it perfectly well. Like they kind of are like, I think they use sort of like a not like this, and then it like comes like undoes part of the grappling hook, and they're like, don't nobody look at me right now, and kind of like quickly tries to fix it, and it's just like weirdly knotted together a little bit, and Gizbar probably has to come in and be like, what is going on with
Listen,
my
Maggie,
grappling?
you behaved admirably earlier with the incount. I think you should take a breather. You did good. Just leave this one to me.
They just walk away. I swear that's what my mom did. I don't know what happened. How are there 10 knots in there now?
It's like when you're trying to like untangle a necklace and somehow it just
Yeah.
gets worse. It's like, I should just put this down. Stop.
Yeah, headphones.
Yeah,
Earphones.
exactly.
Earbuds.
All right. Gizbar, you managed to get it all set up and ready to go. You're very
Yeah, I'm like-
confident this will be fine.
Yeah, I rig it to the ship. I'm just like,
It's been a while since I've used this. I've only ever used it once, and hey, funny story. This is the reason why I'm afraid of heights. But that's a story for another day.
woo! And then we'll get launched into the air.
The four of you, with blinding speed, you begin to whip up, and it's terrifying. You see the compass getting smaller and smaller and smaller as you are just completely shooting up at this incredible velocity. You reach the top, and you scramble to grab a hold. You find yourselves at where the feet of a regular-sized person would be, but it's pretty clear that something has happened to Sarah where they've melded together with this lighthouse. And Ahi, especially you in particular, you get the sense that this must have been some kind of a sacrifice, that this was a deliberate choice, that something might not have happened to Sarah. Now that you're here and close, you can just feel these thoughts, this kind of like empathetic energy radiating off of the closeness of Sarah, especially as you can now see the glow of the light embedded in her chest. You kind of get the sense that maybe you might be able to do something like this if you really pushed yourself, to encase something, to literally embody a physical lighthouse if you needed to. But the conditions are all wrong here. The creature that must have done something that was involved with this is still here, and it's suppressing Sarah. So Sarah's light is not showing. And this item is just in her hand. You can see that if you wanted to remove the crown, all you have to do is just pick it up.
I think I relay that to everyone, that this is kind of the sense that I'm getting, that this was on purpose and not a weird accidental mishap to Sarah. I think Ahi still doesn't fully get why. I think their idea of like that level of self-sacrifice, I think, is just a little like, oh, I don't know about this. So they're just personally trying to figure out what would cause them to make a decision like this, especially since, like the creatures are still out there, so it seems like it's not working. So there is a light coming in this lighthouse, but it's coming from within Sarah. Okay. I think if the crown is able to be removed, Ahi will put a glove on and kind of reach
don't
out.
end up like her.
I think they will be careful and see what happens as they get closer, if it seems like it's having some sort of effect on them.
As you get closer, any kind of light source that any of you might have on you, it is incredibly dimmed here in the proximity of this thing. Ahi, it almost feels as if the air has become extremely thick. It's a little harder to breathe here. There is this oppressive invisible force kind of weighing down on you especially. Everyone else can feel this sort of shift in pressure in the closeness of this. It's almost like when you're in a really thick storm and you can smell the ozone and you can just feel how thick the air is around you. And you begin to hear whispering as you reach out to it.
It's talking.
You should not touch that.
Definitely
He's like the
pulls.
worst idea ever.
They pull their hand back. They're like, that's weird. I won't. Maybe we have to do something
as
else.
concerned as Gizbar is, can he offer assistance? Can he dig into like that box of like lighthouse fixing tools and see if there's anything that can help Ahi remove or anyone remove the crown.
So the box, I believe I described it to be kind of like the size of like a cake box. So it is a pretty sizable thing. Do you have that on you, or is it on the boat? Because you're 60 feet up in the air right now.
Oh,
Your
I
boat's
thought the
down
whole
there.
boat like came with us.
Oh.
Yeah, like it was the rig was like attached to the boat and it brought us all up.
Okay, your whole
Yeah.
boat is up there.
Yeah,
Okay,
so we're
that's
like,
fine.
yeah. It
Okay,
was-
okay, that makes a lot more sense because I was like, it's like someone holding onto the gun, and then all of you are like holding onto the gun with it.
Yeah,
No.
Okay.
That's my hat, my cheat
Okay,
code
that's
to
fine.
get
That's
us
fine.
all up.
Yeah,
Yeah, the whole
absolutely. So
boat.
your boat's just there. Okay.
It's floating.
I love it. No, it's good. Okay. You dig in. Yeah, absolutely. As you go ahead and do a roll for me, when you pull it open, you see these parts that are meant for the lighthouse. And there's a bunch of different gizmos and contraptions. At a glance, people might be like, what is this stuff? But let's see if you can put pieces together.
Knowing my luck, probably not. All right,
No, it's gonna be great.
D6
It's gonna be
for
great.
technical know-how, and I'll use mind for this one. I'm just trying to see what each thing does. Okay, a 4 on the 8 and a 5 on the D6.
Okay, a 4 on the 8 and a 5 on the d6. Okay, they're just regular failures. Okay, nothing happens. So what you see
I
is
don't know what any of the stuff this man gave us.
no, I
don't
no.
know.
You're able to see exactly what it is. It is definitely like y'all had put together a temporary solution for the lighthouse. It's pretty clear that this is something that was manufactured for that purpose. So you look through it and it has a very distinct purpose and distinct intention with it. Like, this is a reflective disc. This will be perfect for what we made like a, workshop version of, using like during summer school kind of energy, right? But for this particular moment, it's just not the right tools.
So part of cut through is echo to like try to cut through the storm to try to communicate. Can I try to cut through and communicate with maybe Sarah or the voices and just
Yes.
like say, okay. All right. So that's a D6 and a D8. So the D6 is cut through.
Okay.
That's a 4, and then D8, which is a 2 for mind.
Okay, so your mind succeeds, and let's see. Okay. You succeed with your mind here. All right. You're trying to cut through. I think what happens is you're trying to connect with Sarah. You're trying to connect with the voices from the crown. The crown itself, it's completely alien. You don't know what it means. It doesn't make any understanding for you, but you connect to Sarah. And you get the sense that Sarah can't hear you, but you can hear her. And she is saying, you shouldn't be here. You need to take the crown and put it together.
So she can't hear me, right?
No.
Um, Ash is gonna go to Ahi and like gesture to grab the gloves.
Okay, I think Ahi will just hand him over. They're like, I don't. Maybe I shouldn't be doing this.
I take the gloves and I take the crown. I
Okay.
grab it.
As you're reaching for the crown, you can hear one last thing from Sarah, and Sarah says, a curse has been put upon the Moon Isles. There's only one way to get rid of it. And when you pick up the crown, both the whispering and Sarah's voice just cut out. And they're gone.
And Sarah's still stone.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well,
I think maybe we have to put We have to find the last piece, and maybe Sarah will be fine, but she says there's a curse, so let's find the last piece.
Well, what happens if? Well, let's first get down from here. But
As you say
what
that, the tentacles that are surrounding this stony spire, they're like, everything just groans.
All right, back to the water.
And then I
gotta
I
go.
release so that we drop down.
The compass drops
yeah.
through the air. It's like a roller coaster. You feel you feel your stomach lifting, and it is incredibly uncomfortable. Gizbar, I need some kind of navigation here.
I get it slowly, incrementally.
Just like,
yeah.
wait, I need a decision from you. Is it that, or are you booking it?
I think Gizvar would be on the cautious side because he is afraid of heights and he was already anxious up there. Like,
Yeah.
so he wouldn't want to like drop
Okay.
abruptly. So he'd probably be like little bit.
Yeah. Okay, so your stomachs don't drop, but you do feel like this jolting, jarring feeling as the ship is lowering 60 feet little by little. You hear the groaning of the tentacles disturbed by the lack of these whispers, and you see a tentacle rise up from the water, and it begins to careen towards the direction of all of you, but it is extremely slow moving. What do you want to do before this tentacle just smashes your boat into the tower?
I would like to use the light within to surround our boat with a shield.
Okay. Roll for me.
Yeah, can I assist with that?
Yeah.
Oh,
So if you
that
want
would
to
be
work together, then go ahead. Both of you choose a focus trait.
cool. Yeah, I'll stick with the light within.
I think I'm gonna go voice with the people with the channel keyword and just like assist you in like channeling your magic.
Okay. So that's going to be a D4 from both of you, please.
A 3.
You got a 4. That's not good, y'all. Okay, hold on. All right.
This game's
That
hard.
feels right. That feels right.
High numbers supposed to be good.
Okay, that's a critical failure. So I'm gonna go ahead and say, Jax, you're gonna have to shift down your voice of the people here.
And wait, it's not a mitigated success because he got a 3.
Oh, did you get a 3? I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I got a
okay.
3.
No,
Like,
you're
wait.
right. It is a
We did
mitigated
not
success.
fail.
No, I'm sorry.
I was like, wow, that was a powerful 4. Knocked out my success.
I'm sorry. No, I heard the 4 and I was like, oh no, this is gonna be terrible. Okay, no, mitigated success. So
Okay.
you do still shift down, Jax. You rolled the failure here, the critical failure here. But the action does go off. So please describe to me what happens here. We'll start with Jax. You see, we'll start with Ahi. You started up. Jax, you try to help.
Yeah. I think Ahi is just this is something that she's done a little more often, so she's just kind of going into the motions of building up a shield around the boat. I think you can see kind of the light and heat leaving them and kind of going all around the boat and just like a little not a bubble, like a boat shaped shield, and then kind of a little like bubble around the top of us.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I misspoke. Jax, you do help. You do contribute to the success of this, but it comes at a cost for you.
I feel like Jax realizes in this moment that she also is afraid of heights, and the boat jolts just a little bit too far, and it like breaks concentration for a moment. And so, like, while part of it is helpful, ultimately she's just like, we might just fall out of the sky in this moment.
Oh my gosh. Okay, yeah. Ash Gizbar, how do you react to this? You see this like massive tentacle just about to crush you like a fly on the wall.
Ash is instinctually just, I think, going to try to like, yeah, I think just shoot
Yeah,
at it.
do it. Yes.
Okay. That is a 6 and 6.
Okay. Let's
It's a
see.
terrible idea. Why did we do this?
A 6 and a 6. Were they both on D6s?
One of them was the
Okay.
one for the trait,
Okay.
not the
So
core
the
trait.
one that rolled the 6, that one is going to have to shift down.
Okay. Never mind. I don't think I can use my weather ward because this has nothing to do with the elements, right? This is the creature that is attacking.
There's a storm happening in the area.
Yeah, I would say you could.
We're like in a storm.
There's
Yeah,
like
yeah,
lightning
yeah.
happening.
Yeah, go ahead. Just describe to me what happens.
I like
So
the way you said that.
I sort of try to like shoot at it, and clearly so frazzled that the boat is rocking that I'm about to like maybe hit the ship itself, but the like maybe like lightning or something strikes right next to me, throws me off balance, and I like shoot upwards instead.
I like it. Yeah, absolutely. It's a very chaotic, messy moment. Gizbar.
How big is this tentacle?
It's huge. It's like it's about the
Dang it.
thickness of your ship.
Okay. I'm gonna try to do so like as we're like descending, like I'm obviously like with the intention of like blasting away as fast as possible, in an effort to like push it away or like divert it away long enough for us to do that. I'm gonna try to like shadow bullet shoot it like as much as I can. So I'm gonna do another darkness skilled wayfinder shot. But it like this time I'm gonna try to like since we're surrounded by I assume like inky shadow and like dark
Yeah.
stuff, I'm gonna try to like channel all that too and see if I can make this more powerful. Just for flavor, I don't know if mechanically it'll add
That
anything.
sounds okay. Hold on. That sounds really dangerous. Like it sounds like you.
Yeah!
Okay, we're gonna make this.
Oh yeah, there's a thing for this.
Let me check on that again.
Because it's either that or my whole ship is gone. So
Okay. I'm going to say this is an inspired roll.
okay. Yeah, I think in Gizbar's mind, it's like he's gonna lean fully into the darkness, which is very dangerous. Because yeah, like it obviously has something to do with this terrifying magic here, that he's been taking little bits of to help him along the way. But he's gonna fully go like embrace the darkness, and then
Yes.
try to just like use it to like fend off this tentacle.
Okay, so we're gonna say that this is an inspired roll, right? So what that means is if you roll a success, it'll be a critical success, right? If you roll a failure, it'll be just a regular failure. Critical failure, it'll be a regular critical failure. But I'm going to say that there will be additional consequences.
Hey, gotcha. All right, so skilled wayfinder is a d6 now, and then I'll say body because which is
Is
also
a physical
d6.
thing that you're doing.
I'll say it's a physical thing. Yeah, so you see like kind of like the shadows around, and he kind of does the same thing. His tattoos glow, but not just the shadows cast from his tattoos. The shadows around start to like get absorbed into his fingertips as he's like slowly like going lower and lower. And he's just like, "Get the fuck away from us!" And try to shoot. Let's do skilled wayfinder first.
D6.
I'll tell you what that was after. That was a 6, and then and then the body is a 3.
Okay. So that is going to be a mitigated success.
Okay.
You
and then
are-
I push my skilled wayfinder down again.
Yep. But it does succeed, and because it succeeds, it's a critical success. Okay.
Oh yeah, sweet. Okay, so
Because
do I
it's
still
inspired.
shift?
You will still shift, yeah.
Okay.
All right, so describe to me what happens. You get to flavor this Super Saiyan or whatever you want.
Yeah, you see, like, yeah, all of the darkness and like even some of like the inkiness of like whatever's wrapping around this tower, begin to like kind of spiral and like kind of enter like the point of his finger, and almost like you can even almost see very subtly like even the tentacle itself start to like shrink a little bit, as like this like almost like Frieza with his like big death ball thing, almost like this thing forms at his finger, and he like shoots it towards the tentacle, and it just like slaps it away, and not only away, just like it shrivels almost.
Yeah, you
and
see
like
it like
pulls back.
desiccating and withering right before your eyes. It's almost as if all of the liquid has been squeezed out of it, and it just immediately sinks back.
And then at that point, I guess like whatever the rest of the way, hopefully it's not that much at this point. I'll just like drop the rest and then just try to just gun it.
Yeah, you
away
drop.
from this.
You drop, and the shield that Ahi and Jax have constructed, it really buffets a lot. It like adds suspension to the bottom of your boat, essentially. So you kind of hit the water with a little bit of a jolt, but you don't hear any kind of breakage or anything like that. The shield dissipates, and you just begin to gun it. All right, what direction are you going, though?
We have the last piece that we know is with Boone, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we generally know that's west. I believe it was Pride. Was it Pride Point that they said, or where was it?
So you know that Eleanor is at Pride Point. You don't really have a lead about where Boone is.
Okay.
I think it was mentioned that Boone spends time at Poetic Irony, but you don't know if he'll be there.
Well,
What say you, everyone? Poetic irony? Illinois? I feel like it's a risk either way, but worth a shot.
What's closer?
yeah, whereabouts are we?
You are in the smack middle of the map.
Okay, yeah.
Everything is equidistant.
equal. Okay, all right.
Poetic Irony is, I believe, where I said Ahi was from. I forget.
I think so, yeah.
Oh, cool.
So would Ahi maybe know if Boone has been seen around or something? Just to give us a heading.
I like to think that, and I think you can flavor this however you want. Like, it's your island, you grew up here. Just to kind of remind everyone, Poetic Irony, a lot of the islands where people live, there's very few resources on them, because essentially it was like the tops of mountains and the water level of the entire world rose, right? So this is all that really remains. There's not a lot of land anywhere to begin with. So a lot of it's very rocky. Poetic Irony in particular is a bit forested. So there is a bit of an untamed wilderness there. And you do know that there are ruins that are found in Poetic Irony as well. Boone is kind of famous, but is a bit of a private person. So there wouldn't be a lot of details about them, but it's up to you if you know them to some level. Because you are an important person of your island. So you tell me what your relationship to Boone is, if any.
Yeah. I feel like if Ahi knows anything, especially with the idea that they mostly stayed in their town, especially the last couple of years, they would probably only know things based off of what their mom would mention. And I feel like their mom would be like, there's this person and this treasure hunter, because I'm sure that would be like, he's like, I want to meet them.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like if they do hear, maybe they only hear about it as like some person. So they're like, I think they could be there. I'm not 100% sure though. I've heard of someone like this being on our island years before. I think I saw like where maybe they lived. Me and some kids tried to figure it out, but I haven't left my town in a couple of years, so I don't know for sure. Maybe my mom's could help. I don't know. Maybe they won't give us that information.
I just had a thought. If this does help in deciding where we can go, I don't know if it'll like react this way, but we have two pieces of the crown, and from what we know, like stuff points toward pieces of the crown. Can we see if like stand somewhere that's like in the middle of the two places we want to go and see if like anything a little bit points toward one way?
Are you saying that you're exposing the pieces of the crown to each other to see if they're going to do something?
Does that sound insane? It is in my head.
I mean, I wouldn't mind trying it. But we definitely have to connect them because then they'd just be attracted to each other. So
Yeah,
it wouldn't, because they'd be closest to each other.
Yeah.
Ash, you have the best luck with this.
He gives you the box.
Okay. So both my hands are gloved. I have one in there. I gingerly open the other box and with the other gloved hand hold up the other piece of the crown.
As soon as you hold up the other piece, they just magnetically slam together. And it's almost as if they've never broken before. You see no seam whatsoever of there ever being evidence of a crack. And you now hold 2/3 of the crown. And you begin to hear whispering. It's alien to you.
I'm gonna try to Is it now like settled or is it pulling anywhere now?
It's pulling you south very gently.
Yeah, I think it's a poetic irony. If that's
And we have it. We have our answer. Don't touch the crown any further.
okay. I put it back in the box.
You find. Hold on.
This crown is scary, Stella.
It's really
Terrifying.
pretty, Ash. It's like so pretty. Are you sure
Gosh.
you want to put it back in the box? There's something
Can I-
about it that is very magnetizing.
Can I use cut through to try to listen more intently to the whispers to see if I can figure out what they're saying?
Yeah, absolutely. Of course you can.
Okay. So that's it.
It'll be fine.
Oh my goodness. A 6
That's bad.
and a 4 for mind.
Okay, that's bad. That's a critical failure. All right, you'll have to switch. You'll have to shift down the 6.
Okay. Oh man.
Okay. I'm going to say. You actually hear the words. It begins to promise you that it has the power to give you whatever you want. And there's something about it that feels substantial, but you have the agency to be like, no, I don't want to. So it's not going to be like mind controlling or anything like that, but you realize how powerful it is for sure.
Can I do one more mind roll to try to maybe figure out what the negative consequence might be if I put this on?
Okay, yeah.
Okay. 7.
Okay.
Nothing.
Princess Ash with a crown.
Well, you've gotten the context from Ahi that whatever happened to Sarah chose to let that happen. So that's not a risk for you.
Mm-hmm.
You don't really know of any drawbacks, really. Like, yeah, it's kind of siphoning a little bit of the light around the ship, but other than that, nothing really so far, right?
I, Jasmine, really want to put this on.
It is canonically pretty, so.
Ash will not one to turn down a challenge, and as always a risk taker, will slowly put it on her head.
Okay.
Hey, Ash, what are you doing? Hey!
Ash, you good?
You put it on your head. You know exactly where the last piece is. It is on Poetic Irony, and it is buried in a forested ruin.
I relay all this information. I know exactly where it is. And we should head to Poetic Irony right now.
Are you gonna take the crown out?
As you wish, Your Majesty. As I begin rowing.
Ash?
No, I mean nothing bad has happened so far, and maybe something bad will happen when I try to take it off. So maybe we'll just leave this on. Just for now. Or you could take the glove and take it off my head.
Ash,
You want me to
I
give it
dare
a
you
shot?
I'm good at keeping it on.
Okay.
So the ship begins to turn southward. Ash, you begin to learn a lot of things in this journey. It's going to take you about 2 hours to get to Poetic Irony here. Gizbar, with your superior skills of navigation, it's no trouble getting out of the storm, especially as you're going full speed ahead. Ash, you learn that the shred is just a taste of power from this crown. The crown brought this here. The crown chose to show you its power, to show you how you could command it if you wanted. It begins to ask you questions. What do you want, Ash? More than anything else in the world.
So it's like asking me kind of actively.
Yeah, and this is all like in your head. Nobody else can hear this.
I do my best to like not answer the questions. I just like kind of ignore the whatever's going on.
Okay. Roll me a mind check.
Okay. That hasn't been going well for me. Oh, 3. Okay, cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can tell it's probing. It's trying to get answers from you so that it can pull on the strings to try to entice you to something, right? It hasn't said like what it wants you to do. It's just telling you what it could do for you. And you definitely get the sense that this is a slippery slope. That this could easily get out of hand. But as we're getting closer and closer to Poetic Irony, you get this feeling of accomplishment. It's beginning to suggest feelings for you, and you're able to push them away if you want to. But it's pretty obvious that this crown is very toxic, and it's very powerful, and it's going to try to use you. And it continues to ask questions like, you can wield the storm, but what if you were the storm? What if it was just you? You could have all that power just in the palm of your hand. You could fly through the air.
Sort of getting annoyed. Ash will, with the gloves, lift off the crown and try to put it back in the box.
Okay, I need a body roll from you. You find that it's extremely heavy.
No.
Okay.
When you're trying to pull it off.
5.
Okay, you can't get it off. but you are able
Well-
to like mentally like keep it at a
Mhm.
distance.
Ash,
Okay,
you good?
I
You trying
continue.
to get that off?
Yeah, it's like real. It's pretty heavy, so it's staying on for now.
You
You
sure
want
you're
any
actually
help?
trying?
Yeah, if anyone's like super strong, it'd be great if you. And then I like hold the gloves out for whoever wants to try.
My arms are busy.
I'm
Fair.
bad at this, but I'll try.
Okay, body roll.
Use your voice. Yell it off.
Could I do something similar to like the let it go moment with the creature from earlier and use voice of the people?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Thanks, Kispar.
Use your
So,
voice. Do it.
That's gonna be
Listen, your voice is great. It's truly impressive.
I think as Jax does this, it's like a repetition of like different things that she knows about Ash that are true. So it's like bravery in storms and just like repeated pieces of you that I have come to know. Um, that's gonna be a 1 for voice of the people. My body is a D10.
You got this.
It's a 5 for my body.
Okay. That is a success. Tell me what happens as it lets go of Ash. It falls down onto the ground. Sorry, the boat.
Ash, do you wanna take this?
So it falls to the ground.
After Jax has affirmed you with enchanted words.
I like kind of like nod like thank you. I grab the like the stick that I used to like open the box and try to like push it back into the box without like picking it up.
Okay. The moment that it leaves your head, you forget, or not forget, but you lose that sense of like, you know where exactly where it is.
Oh.
It hits the boat with a loud thud, and you see Jet turn to look at it.
No, not yet.
Nope,
No,
nope.
no, that's not for you.
I'm helping with the box.
Okay, you put it away. It's fine.
I try to
Jet is
find
going
like
to, why do I think that Jet is going to be the final boss here?
I would actually above table never do that because Jet's part of your party. Yeah.
Okay. I love that though.
I'm gonna try to find like maybe some scraps or some food lying around and try to like just feed Jet so he stops looking at the ground like it's food.
Yeah, you succeed, absolutely. You eventually make your way to Poetic Irony, and it is here that it is no longer raining. As you
How
begin,
poetic.
as you begin to approach, you can see that some people on the shore recognize your ship. Someone starts running away. And when they come back, Ahi, you can see both of your moms are waiting for you as you begin to dock.
He's just like, wait, maybe this isn't a great idea. Just remembering how overprotective they were sending them off. They're like, I think they're like putting their cloak back on because they're like, oh yeah, this was the thing that they gave. I gotta have this. And it also does the dual thing of hiding their hand, which I think is probably still pretty messed up
It's
looking.
pretty raw, yeah.
So they're just gonna tuck that in so that it doesn't look like they got badly hurt. No reason to on their very first adventure from home, they come back with injuries.
You get a very warm reception here. We're going to montage here a little bit. And essentially, you're given opportunity to rest if you want. You're given a place to stay, food, whatever you like. You are all welcomed here as heroes, especially in the company of Ahi. Ahi, you find that many people ask you so many questions. They want to know, what happened? What have you been doing? Why are you back so early? Are you forthcoming?
I think to just the other folks that aren't her moms, yeah, they're a little vague. They're kind of like, oh, I'm doing my beacon duties, and we just need to collect some things here, and I think they kind of try to do like because they were like a little revered here, like they kind of try to make it like, oh, it's important business, you understand how it is, I can't, it's a little classified, but it's very important. These very important people from other places, they're so proud of me growing up here, and they're like kind of trying to like make it so people are more interested in hearing about how Ahi has like been talking up the town more than like asking too many questions. Like every time someone's like, okay, but like, why are you back here? Didn't you just leave?
Yeah, you
Not
left
that
like
long ago.
2 or 3 days ago or something like that. Yeah.
Someone's like trying to shake their hand that's injured, and they're like, okay, let's. I gotta go back to my mom. You guys know how they get. If I don't go home and I don't go with the correct welcome, so I better. And they're just kind of trying to backtrack out of this conversation towards their house.
And when you get to your house, are you forthcoming to your mom's?
Yeah, I think they're more forthcoming to the mom that is on like the rescue team. I think that's she's the one who was more like, he needs to go out. They can't just be a beacon of our town only. That's not the point of being a beacon. And so I think they kind of finagle like their other mom to maybe make their favorite meal or something that they're the ones that make it, so that they can kind of relay the information to. I'm totally blanking on their names right now, so the rescue mom can get the breakdown a little bit.
Yeah. Your mom goes as far to offer to guide you, has a vague idea of where the forest ruins are. So we'll have this like little montage of all of you being introduced or having a meal with Ahi's family. It's a very wholesome moment. We can go ahead and say that we'll shift up 2 of your die of your choice for everybody. And you can either shift 1 die up 2 times, or you can shift 2 dice up 1 time. And as you are given this option of a guide, I'll go ahead and say that you do accept the offer and you make your way to the forest ruins. It is there that you realize that this ruin is expansive and it's going to be very hard to start digging up the entire thing to look for wherever Boone must have buried this treasure.
We have the box with us. I'm guessing we grabbed the box.
Yeah.
I opened the box just to see where the crown is like pushing towards.
Okay. You get the sense that the box definitely you get the sense that the crown has some sentience at this point, and it is willfully not giving you any information while it's in the box.
Oh my God, it's a cranky crown.
If it's cool with everyone, I'm gonna dump it on the floor and see if it'll maybe scuttle away.
As long as it doesn't scuttle too fast.
All right, I drop it.
Like dropping a cat that wants nothing to do with you, it begins to skitter across the ground very quickly.
Okay. I will use. So part of Deep in the Mind is navigate.
Okay.
And is it possible instead of doing? I don't know if you can do this. Instead of a core trait, can I use Deep in the Mind and Cut Through to like navigate while listening for where it's scuttling towards?
I would say no, because it has to be a
Okay.
core and a focus, or
Okay.
just a core. But you can have help here
Okay.
if you want to choose one of your focus traits, and someone else can choose their focus trait too.
I'll use cut through to just like listen for it if it ever like gets out of our line of sight.
Okay. Does anybody want to help here?
I could do skilled wayfinder because that's navigating and finding things. Search is
Okay.
my
Yeah.
Word.
So please tell me what die you're rolling and then what you get.
I rolled a d6 and I rolled a 1.
Ooh,
Huh?
D4 and I rolled a 2.
Okay, so that is a regular success. Yeah, so you are able to pinpoint somehow exactly where it's going to go. It kind of like comes back to you. You realize like, yeah, there's that one weirdly bent tree, and it's at the roots of this tree. And the two of you, as you kind of combine your forces here, you have the opportunity to get to it before the crown gets to it.
Oh. Just start digging.
Okay. Do you have gloves on?
Yes.
Okay.
I still do, I think.
You have the third piece in your hand, and Gizbar, you're able to like put your foot down on the mostly completed crown to keep them from joining. You have all three pieces of the crown now. What do you want to do?
Now, what exactly did Sarah say?
It said that it formed it basically, correct me if I'm wrong, like the crown and the storm were one, and it put a curse on the waters here, causing the shred to be a thing.
But when it's full, what happens? It's
My
I
fear.
don't know. I mean, it's very powerful. It got more powerful when two pieces came together.
Can I touch my 3-mooned tattoo and see if it can tell me or show me what happens when we do this? Or like what we can do with these 3 pieces to fix this damage that has been done.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. I want to do mind, but this seal feels like a soul to me.
Okay. Yeah, go with what
But I'm
feels
gonna
right.
do taste of ink, yeah. Or unless anyone wants to help.
Yeah, people can help here if you want.
Um,
I'm gonna use insight for my ink.
Okay.
can I help with like deep in the mind and just sort of with informed, just basically boost what Gizbar's
Yeah, like
doing?
based on what Ash has already felt with the crown, maybe like
Yeah.
get some
Yeah.
some further insight.
Yeah,
Okay.
that works.
All right, cool. All right, D6 with ink. Oh my lord. Yeah, why did I choose Jasmine as my partner? You've been rolling so bad.
Jasmine, if
I'm
this was
kidding.
a long-term campaign, you would have like everything
Yeah, you'd be
unlocked.
so leveled up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For context, Jasmine rolled a 6 on a d6.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Oh yeah.
Say that.
5 on the D6.
Okay, this is a critical failure.
No.
Jasmine, you must shift down your die here, unfortunately. So what happens as you touch your tattoo, trying to get information out of this Gizbar? You just know that this is a terrible thing and it needs to be stopped. You have a complete confusion on like what exactly you need to do. The pieces were broken and they're being brought back together. What does it mean? Right? And Ash, you, as you try to like connect with it again, like perhaps with your mind, with your magic, you feel that pull again. It wants you to wear it. And it reminds you that it wants you to wear it. It reminds you what it could give you.
I continued to try to ignore it.
Okay. You are able to do so. I think with the context of everything put together, the group of you would be able to figure out that perhaps putting it together is not a terrible thing, but putting it on after it's put together is the worst choice you could make. Because Sarah did say that it needs to be put whole.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, putting it together for the 2 pieces was fine. Perhaps we can try all 3. Wait, Ahi, before we do this, do you have any more of that light to make sure we don't get a little too off the deep end here?
Yeah, I think I was thinking Ahi will I think I will use the light within. I just added another word with the experience I've collected in this session with spread. So I think what we'll do is kind of like spread, or they're going to try to spread light just in this area and within all of us as a group to kind of maybe mitigate the effects if something weird happens with the crown. They're hoping that with the light there, maybe it'll soften whatever weird stuff is happening with this crown.
Yeah.
And I will take help with this if anyone wants to, because my focus traits are really dialed up.
I feel like I should not help because I probably won't help.
I was wondering if I could do lengthen the wick, but I don't know if that's too demanding of your dice.
Oh.
Because like I feel like a bunch of us have shifted down.
Yeah. Oh, is that was the thing I was wondering. Am I able to use that? Because we did sort of use it at the top of this episode.
We won't count
That
it
was
as being
technically
used.
last. Yeah, that was last.
Cool. In that case, yes, I should be able to. My soul is dialed up from the previous one, but it's not exhausted, so I should be okay.
Yeah, you're fine. Yeah. So would you like to lengthen the wick?
Yeah, let's go with that.
Okay.
Oh, thank God, because I hated using that voice. This is much more my dude.
Could you read to us what lengthen the wick does again?
Yeah, so once per session, while in the glow of your lantern, allow each of your allies to shift up any 2 trait dice. You must shift your soul die down to use this ability.
Okay. So everyone can recover 2 shift dice by 1.
I gotta hang around you more often, Ahi.
I will
He's
say,
just like, oh, okay. I hope everyone's feeling better.
Ahi, you get the sense that as you're using your powers in proximity to these pieces, you feel very dim. You feel your powers are dialed significantly down, and though they are successful, you get the sense here that there is a relationship between the two, that it seems that your light is feeding the crown. And since we're running out of time, you get the innate sense that perhaps if you put this in a dark place, you wouldn't be feeding it anymore.
Okay. So it's like siphoning it up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And it kind of begins to click a little bit, like you see the light of Stronghold got like completely sucked up. Sarah almost was like bled dry from this thing. And it didn't seem to affect poetic irony. Because it was buried.
Did we just throw it back in there?
Feels like a good idea.
Yeah.
Did we
But
put it together?
fully put together though.
It's currently not together.
Yeah, no, we before we do that.
Sarah
We
did
should
say
put
though
it
that we need to,
together.
yeah, put it together.
Maybe we can bury the 2 pieces underneath and then put it together kind of under some dirt.
I'm gonna dig the hole just a little deeper. And kind of do what Ahi says and like put the piece that's by itself into the dirt, cover it mostly except for like the edges in which it like needs to connect to the rest of the crown. And then I turn to the group and I let the second piece through.
As you drop the second piece, you, just like before, it magnetically snaps together in this hole that you've made.
I just start covering it with dirt.
Okay.
Help.
As it snaps together, you hear the whispering. But then when the dirt covers it, it's gone.
Do we notice anything else happening as like the moment that it snaps fully together?
No. Not right now.
That's almost more scary.
Seems like nothing happened.
Is there like a high point? Can I climb up to see what the shred looks like right now?
Yeah, absolutely. You guys are pretty deep into the mountainous area of Poetic Irony. You take about like 30 minutes to climb, and we'll say that y'all go as a group. And as you do, when you reach the summit, you look out and you can see that the shred is beginning to fade away. The skies are growing clearer.
I'm gonna try to use cut through to see if I can communicate with Sarah.
Ooh. Okay. Yeah, roll for me.
Okay. What in the world? 6? And then
Stop
for
rolling,
mind,
God.
that's a 1 though for
Okay.
mind.
Oh my
The
Mitigated
critical
lord.
failure to
success.
critical success.
Okay, so you have to
Stop rolling
shift
on
the
roll
one.
20.
Yeah.
Level
Roll
100
20
Ash.
is not kind to you.
No.
The algorithm sucks.
I left my dice downstairs. It's my own fault. Those dice weren't nice to me either, though, so.
Damn.
They're punishing you.
I
So
know.
you will have to shift your the 6 die down.
Yep.
But you are unable to connect to it. You get the sense that it. Oh, sorry, you're not connecting to it. You're connecting to Sarah. Sarah's not there anymore.
Either I failed or she has now moved physically because I can't find her. But that's like a good thing because she's not stone anymore. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think all that's left is to deliver that last package to Stronghold, right?
Now we can kind of cut through without going around. That's kind of nice.
Makes
Yeah,
my
you're gonna
job
have
a
to-
lot easier, but also kind of useless.
Maybe we can pass by the lighthouse and see if something has happened.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's do it.
So y'all hop into the compass. You make your way down from the ruins. You go back to the shores of Poetic Irony. As you get onto the ship and you begin to head towards the location where the shred used to be, you can see that there is a bit of light rain. It's slowly dissipating, and there's no more lightning, there's no more thunder, no more fire in the sky. You see in the distance a structure. There are no more tentacles, but there is a lighthouse. It is mostly broken, but it's still standing. And you can see where Sarah it used to be. The head of it has been replaced with a functioning lighthouse, and it is slowly spinning and emitting light here in the middle of the ocean. How does Ahi feel about this? Sarah has completed their transformation and they have become a literal lighthouse.
I think Ahi is like not fully sure what they feel. Like I think there's something inside them that feels like this is right. Like there's something that is clicking inside them, like this is what as a beacon is part of your job, that you are there to more than just a functioning person, that you're there to be a guiding light. But I think that there's definitely a part of them that is a little stressed and scared about this being like a part of their responsibilities and a possibility for them. They're like, they're still just a 16-year-old kid, so they are a little like having like some kind of existential crisis a little bit.
It's a lot for a kid, yeah.
Yeah, but they do kind of acknowledge that there is something inside of them. I almost that is the thing that concerns them most, that there is something in them that is like, yeah, this is as it should be. And they don't quite know how to handle that thought.
You continue past and you make your way towards Stronghold. You immediately notice that the lights that were dimmed here seem to have been restored. The lanterns are a bit brighter, and you can see that little strings of fairy lights are twinkling like almost stars in the streets here. You make your way towards the lighthouse and you offer up the objects, perhaps even install them yourselves, and you are feeling pretty confident that the lighthouse will function for more than just 24 hours from your very willful efforts. So what now? Sarah is probably not coming back. But whatever this was, it seems to have lifted the spirits of the people here. Life continues. People are eating and drinking. We'll say that the group of you are standing at the foot of the lighthouse here in Stronghold. What do you say to each other?
I feel like Liza is the one most concerned about what happened to Sarah, so I feel like we should vet her.
Yeah.
And after that, it's mission accomplished, right?
Yeah, I don't know. My whole job is storm chasing, so I don't know if there's much left for me.
My job's ferrying people through dangerous waters. Now, everyone could just go.
Eliza kind of comes up as you're saying that, puts hands on their hips, and they're like, what are you talking about? There's still the Maelstrom. You know, the giant gargantuan storm in the middle of the world that ate the sun.
Oh yeah, no, I'm more talking about like this like crescent area. I was gonna head there.
Huh?
Yeah, that requires moving. I'm so comfortable here. I know these waters more than anyone.
What are you talking about? And we'll say that you kind of fill in Eliza and tell them that, like, yeah, the shred is no longer there anymore. And they're like, oh, that's unfortunate about Sarah. But it's good to know that what they've decided is making our part of the world a little safer.
She did what she was meant to do. Be a beacon.
Yeah. So, we should celebrate your efforts. Because of you, we know what happened and the shred is gone. We need to tell everyone.
Have they not noticed the shred's gone? Like, you know,
It's a bit far out there. I mean, not everyone carries around. Like,
All right. Well, let's tell everyone then.
Okay, yeah. And Eliza begins like running through the streets, has like a bell because they're the quartermaster. Their job is like pretty much up and down the docks, and they have a pretty substantial role in the community here. And people in Stronghold celebrate. You are revered as heroes, and you make this world a little better than it was before. We'll have a little epilogue with each character. Where do you go? What do you do after the celebration has completed and life moves on?
Ash will probably, because she heard that Eleanor might have a boat for sale, and she has that voucher that put in a good word for me. So I think Ash is going to try to see if she can get her own boat and like head towards the Maelstrom.
I love that.
Mm.
What would Ash name their boat?
Executioner. Judge, jury, executioner.
Yeah, I get. Yeah,
That's pretty good. Right?
I love that. Okay. Awesome. Anyone else?
I think Jax heads home and picks up one of the next notebooks that was ready to go. And so much has happened in the last 3 days that spends time to just like make sure that she can record at least as much as she can remember of what has happened.
I love that.
Ahi also returns to Poetic Irony, but with the express purpose of kind of heading back to the crown with their mom and maybe like a few other trusted people, and kind of deciding out like maybe we need to do a watch or a guard or have something where we're checking on this every once in a while. I think perhaps they have the others like dig it down a little bit more and maybe put, you know, rocks or other structures around it. Maybe they probably do like their own, like their town's like protection something to like kind of feel like we've done some added work to keep that in there. And then I think for them, they're like, okay, my family's got that for now. So they'll probably head back to Gizbar to kind of do a few more rounds. But I think as they're doing their beacon work, they're going to try to collect a little more information about this crown if they can. Because they're like, we really just kind of put it together and it was doing some weird stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe we shouldn't just let that lie.
Yeah. As you meet up with Eleanor eventually, Eleanor will tell you, as the only person that was actually like there, and say, yeah, so Sarah found this strange item. It kind of got spat out of the ocean or something, and Sarah began to act kind of weird. Said something about voices and how it was beginning to promise her things. She said that it was a thing of great power, and if she broke it into different pieces, that we would be able to keep a hold on it, control it, maybe use it to our advantage. And I don't know. Boone didn't trust me with it. I think that maybe even in its weakened state, he thought that it would take the better of me. So they decided to not give it to me. And from the sounds of it, maybe that was a good idea. That's pretty much like all you glean off of it.
And we never found like any signs of Boone themselves, right? We just found the crown, but they were nowhere to be found. Okay.
Maybe put it in a different hole. Just in case.
Yeah.
What about Gizbar? Your epilogue.
I would say Gizbar in his mind would want to just go back to doing what he always did, ferry people around. Um, that's his job, and that's what he's been doing for so many years. But I think with all the time that he's spending with Ahi every time, like ferrying them where they need to go, to do what they need to do, every couple of days, would maybe get a little bit more light um, from Ahi. Now knowing that this uh, can cure the aging that has been inflicted upon him, um, and just in one of these sessions, I guess, he would just kind of talk to Ahi about everything they've been through, and it just kind of be like, Ahi, I've met a lot of beacons in my life and all of my travels, and I've never met anyone like you, and uh, thank you for everything that you've done. Um, and like he would kind of go back to his boat, and you know, is about to set off to, wherever his next destination is. But he kind of looks back to, I guess, maybe Stronghold or something, where maybe the gang is hanging out, and then pauses for a moment and thinks like, maybe I'll spend a bit more time with them. And he'll like toss a bag of coins to like one of the dock workers and just be like, "Hey, my boat got a little scuffed up earlier, so you could just clean it up a bit, do a bit of repairs." Uh, and the Undertow. Uh, that one's got a little extra inky stuff on it, so just take care of that, and that's all yours. And then tosses him a bag of gold, and then walks back into town to hang out with the homies.
As you begin to walk away, you just see like Jet's eyes just watching you. Excellent. So as we fade to black here, we have credits rolling across the screen, and then
Uh-oh.
something's been a little strange. Boone has been in and out of the ruins for a big part of his life. He knows them like the back of his hand. And all of a sudden, there seems to be a lot of traffic going in and out of one of his favorite places to hide the things that he has found from the deep ocean. He watches from the tree line as people he recognizes from Poetic Irony coming and going. He goes, "Shit. They must have found it." He waits, and he waits, and he waits. Several hours pass before there's a change of the guard, and he only has a few minutes. He gets over to where he buried his portion of the crown, and he digs as quickly as he can. But it's not there anymore. It's been moved. He quickly hides away into the shadows, pulling up his collar. And he sees, on his way back to Poetic Irony, Ahi pointing in the direction of the forest ruins, wearing the beacon cloak. And Boone slowly slips away. And that is where we're going to end Undertow, our limited mini-series. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. Thank you so much for my wonderful cast members here. This has been a very interesting game. I love the system. It's so unique and it's so flexible. As you can see from all the various ways we applied our different traits. So I just want to give a quick shout out to Hit Point Press for this really, really cool setting and also the system as well. Maelstrom was created by them and I had the pleasure of playtesting it and I was like, this is so dope. Can I make an adventure in your world? And they said yes. And I was like, thank you so much. And I hope that you all enjoyed it. Before we head out, I would love to reintroduce everyone that's at the table. And please tell me who you are, where we can find you, and what your favorite part was of the episode. And we're gonna go ahead and start in reverse order. Lexi, can you start for us, please?
My name is Lexi, although I'm known mostly online as Pizza. You can find me on Twitch and Twitter for as long as Twitter continues to exist. I variety stream on Twitch, play a lot of video games, and I have been playing Jack Torrens, a siren in the world of the Maelstrom, who goes around collecting stories so that they're not forgotten. And I think, honestly, this is goofy, but I think my favorite thing is like watching Chris change voices when Gizbar changes ages. Like, that's brilliant. Also, Jasmine putting on the crown.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I did not expect that to actually happen. Oh man. If I had like really, I should have anticipated it more, but just kind of like above game, I find like things that like mind control very cringy, especially if you like haven't talked to people like out of the game, like, hey, is this something that we want to explore? Hey, is this something that we want to be an element? So like in the moment I was like, okay, I want you to know mind control is not a thing. It's not trying to mind control you, but it is saying some really juicy shit. Like you can latch onto it if you want, but yeah. So that was a design choice. I just wanted to communicate that with everyone. But anyway, we'll hop on over to Chris.
Hello, everybody. My name is Chris Tung. Most people know me for being one of the co-founders of pinkcity.ca, which is an anime gaming streetwear brand from Toronto, Canada. We do events and stuff as well. Apparently not even just in Toronto. We sponsored a party in LA recently, so maybe we'll be in your city soon. I'm also known as the producer, editor, and current GM for the Super Journey Dudes podcast, which is a tabletop comedy podcast show. Every Monday, tune into our Twitch channel. We are streaming my big project right now, Blink Space Blues, which is a neo-noir Lancer series that is inspired by Gundam and Cowboy Bebop. Truly the coolest thing that I'm doing right now. You know, it's got animation, it's got special effects, all that good stuff. It is the highest production Lancer show, I believe, that's out there right now. So check us out every Monday. We're getting back into the swing of things after my little vacay. But things are ramping up. We're like on like episode 15, so catch up and join the adventures. It's getting gnarly out there in Blink Space. And my favorite part actually was the wholesome moment between Jax and Ahi. I really loved that. It within all like the chaos of the storms and all the janky things and the terrible rolls, it was nice to have just like a little peaceful wholesome moment with them. That was my favorite part.
Awesome. Thank you.
Oh, and of course, obviously, Stella's GMing. Did a wonderful job with this new system and a wonderful story and carrying us along through it. So thank you.
Thank you. I'll be honest, I had this like whole thing prepared about like how this is a story of greed and opportunity like taken in the wrong hands. But y'all kept failing the roles of like connecting with this thing deeply, right? And I was just like, damn, y'all, like it was so hard. Oh man, this game. We're
too smooth-brained. We're too smooth-brained to get...
No. Like, we were just unlucky. Because, like, there were a lot of attempts, right? And, no, y'all did everything super brilliantly. Like, it was just very strong magic item. Big barriers. I don't know. Something. But we're gonna go ahead and hop over to Jasmine. Hi.
Hi, I'm Jasmine, and you can find me at L_Jasmine for as long as Twitter is a thing. And I also play Dungeons and Dragons every Tuesday over at Hero Club's Twitch, which is linked in the chat. We're doing a highly edited version of Wild Beyond the Witchlight, and it's completely off track of the actual campaign. So if you are familiar with it, it'll still be new for you. And yeah, we're about to get into some pretty wild stuff there. So check it out if you can. Yeah, my favorite part was how much Jet wanted to eat. I'm assuming eat the crown. Like he just kept staring at it.
Yes.
And
what happened if he ate the whole crown?
I have no idea. I would have just pulled it out of my butt.
Yeah. But yeah, Jet is always a fave of mine. And also the reveal of what happened to Sarah, I think was pretty cool. So yeah.
Thank you. I really
Thank
loved your
you.
character concept of, okay, yeah, I'm a storm sorcerer, but what if I had guns? That was awesome. I loved it so much. And you're like, I'm
I'm
gonna
always-
name it Judge and Jury. And I was like, oh,
I'm
yes.
always in every single game looking for an opportunity to dual wield pistols. Like it doesn't matter what game it is. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna try to get that.
Solid choice.
Yeah, very good. Thank you. And last but not least, we have Rue.
Hello, everyone. I'm Rue. My pronouns are she, her. You can find me on Twitter at Cherry Drop, and then all my other stuff is on my cards, quickly updating as Twitter implodes upon itself. Yeah, I've got some games out if you want to check them out at rue7.itch.io. I'm hoping to get some stuff out soon, but I am in the middle of just a bunch of works in progress rather than sticking to one at the moment. My favorite, there are so many good things this session. I do think it was funny that our rolls were just absolutely atrocious this entire session. It did make for really good just chaos kind of just rolling together on us. And I think it's really cool that the system does kind of have us shift up, so it's just as the rolls get worse, everything just compounds more and more. So that was really interesting to see that part of the system really play out this session.
I think us like not doing so well with the rolls like absolutely evidenced in this episode, because I think we failed more this episode than the other two combined.
Yeah, and the other one, I don't think we ever got that badly into like shifting our dice around. I feel like we got a good amount of success, and we were also a little more leisurely, so we could like fix things a little bit more. This one, it was just like every time I was like, man, I really wish we could get a rest. And
Yeah, we were shifting all over the place.
Yeah.
but it was just one thing after the other with the story too. So we were just like, all right, we just gotta keep gunning forward and hoping something works out. Yeah, and I liked our kind of combat with the tentacle buddies, the Inkound. That was really cool just to get a sense of like how combat works and seeing how we were kind of working together. I really liked just seeing everybody's different approaches to how to take down this Inkound. Was really fun.
The Inkound's really cool. I did take that from the quick start, so if anyone watching this is interested in playing around with the Inkound, it is in the PDF itself. It's a really cool way of creating creatures and having these different working elements, because they also have traits, and the way that you defeat them is that you shift their traits down low enough that it begins to affect them, or like they run away, or you think of something creative like in one of the playtests I was in, like we fed the Inkound and made it our friend for a very short period of time, but it is a very monstrous creature, right? It can only work for so long.
I mean, now he tried.
I did try, yeah.
And it got clingy.
I will admit that the extremely large, like, tentacle creature that was on the lighthouse, I had a stat block for it. I was fully prepared for y'all to like get engaged with and fight it, but y'all were pretty like in and out, so we didn't get to that part. Yeah, it would have been really scary, and the Inkound fight was definitely like here's a warm-up for the big monster that I'm about to introduce to you. I called it a storm surger. Yeah.
That's a cool name.
Thanks. Thank
That's
you.
cool.
My favorite part was just seeing all of the different ways that my players here engaged with the different keywords, especially with Jax, the way that you would use literal words with your spells. I thought that was really cool, the way that you flavored it. I absolutely loved how chaotic Ash was with all of the lightning, and I think it was like very thematic, and also it really played into how dangerous the elements are because they're so temperamental. Like they don't always like bend to your will. And I think it really like played into the story quite well.
Yeah, my bad rolls were on purpose for the purpose of story.
Yeah, for the story. For the story. Yeah,
She fudged
absolutely.
all her rolls. Yeah,
Yeah.
made them all bad.
I loved how much you played into the tattoos. Gizbar is so cool. The aging thing was a very unique take too. I really like the way that you really thought about the way that the magic manifests physically and not just like as like an energy source, but it's like literally part of your body. And the segue at the beginning where you were like, "Now I'm a people person." That was hilarious. And
He's only 42.
only 42, yeah. But also Ahi, I absolutely loved the character. It was really refreshing to have like a character that's very like new and excited, and it really added an awesome dynamic to this group. And I definitely felt the growth of Ahi over the 3 sessions. So I just want to say very well done. Very excellent performance from everybody. But yeah, that's going to be it for us. Please follow all of these wonderful people. It was an absolute pleasure to work with them. I would 100% play with them again in the future. And hopefully we'll see them here on some different projects soon. And I just want to say again, thank you so much to Hit Point Press for giving us the materials that we need to be able to quick start play it. And it's free. It's available on their website. Go check it out if you want to play it. That's going to be it for us. Thank you so much for being here. Goodbye, everybody. Make sure you drink lots of water. There's a heat wave going on.
It's hot.
It's hot. Okay, bye.